Iyo mama, iyo mama. Nancy, Nancy, part of. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Nancy, Nancy, part to part. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Nancy, Nancy, part to part. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Nancy, Nancy, part to part. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Nancy, Nancy, part to part. Sakuku kasati, sakuku kasati, yo patapa, sakuku kasati, sakuku kasati, yo patapa, yo mama, patapa, yo mama, yo patapa, yo mama, patapa, yo mama, sakuku kasati.
Well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long while, so welcome to the Pan African Alliance. As you guys have noticed, my intro has changed. Something happened, and my computer had to be rebooted, and I lost all my files. Stupidly for me, I did not back up those files on as I usually do on my cloud. So all my animation and everything that has took so much time to prepare is all gone. I would need to do them again, and yeah, that's what happens if you don't take things serious. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome whoever is watching, and we just got two people. That's okay. It's always okay. Two people, one person, and that was Pata Pata. This was just a tribute to South Africans for helping the African Union kick out Israel. I was just paying them some respect for your work. And ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be talking about something that it's really, really important, something that we in the Pan African Alliance should be taking into consideration, and not even Pan African Alliance and most African nations. This is some things that I think we should try to establish it in our own countries. So we'll be talking about National Youth Service Corps. So I'll be using Nigeria today because they are the ones who are actually still doing that in Africa. I think, if not the only country was doing that in Africa. Yeah, I don't know. Some other countries are doing it more of a military way, but Nigeria is actually doing that in a more professional way. It's not actually military, but it's like most service. It's in most military country and Western countries. This was done by military rule. It was like actual military. You need to go to the military and serve. But Nigeria is doing it in a way that I think it is quite. It's revolutionary and it is a really good idea. So let's look a brief history about the National Youth Service Corps, and we will see how this thing it's really wonderful. And if you ask my own humble opinion, I don't think why it is not working for Nigeria. And we're gonna look into it and see if they're actually doing something that could make this service better, and why we in the Pan African conglomerate should adapt such a system, because actually things like this really make youth people become patriot in the country, and it's one of the best idea or one of the best things to implement when we're talking about nation building and patriotism. So at let's take a brief history on this service here. I'm not a Nigerian, so I wish Nigerians would come and give us more light into this thing. Okay, so as we can see, this thing was started in 1975 by Gowan. Yakubu. I thought they said it was Yakubu Gowan. I'm not so sure. No, 1973. I think the 1973 one was just military based. So it was started in 1973, and it has gone up, or I think it's still active and live, and they've made it compulsory now. And each Nigerian who is who just finished, I think, school or university needs to serve 1 year in this National Youth Service. And the idea is to make these people know your countries, know different ethnic groups. So let's just try to read what is said here. Like, the National Youth Service was created uh, on 22nd May 1973 as an avenue for the reconciliation, reconstruction, and rebuilding of the nation after the Civil War. Okay, it was established based on Decree number 24, which stated that the scheme was created with a view to proper encourage the development of common ties among the youth of Nigeria and the promotion of national unity. Of course, so it was created for the rebuilding, reconstruction of Nigeria after the Civil War. Yeah, and it was created with a purpose to promote national unity. So let's see how it operates. Maybe we can get a little bit of information. They say core members, participants in the National Youth Service are posted to states other than their own state of origin. That is a good idea, where they are expected to mix with people from different ethnic groups. That is a really, really good idea. Living in a country that you have hundred of ethnic groups, and for people to see themselves as nation, as Nigeria, or as a nation, they need to socialize. You need to mix them somehow. Because if you don't do like this, if you don't do things like this, people will just live in their own little region, and they will feel that it's just about the country. They don't see people from other region as their countrymen and their patriots. So this how these things operate. you know People were being sent to different regions, which is not the region of origins and ethnic groups. Yeah. So, and this they had to learn the culture of indigenes in the location where in the location that in the location they are posted to. This action is aimed at bringing about unity in the country and help the youth appreciate other ethnic groups. There is an orientation period of approximately 3 weeks spent in a military controlled camp. That's good. So they actually have a little bit of military training. We're gonna see how these things is being carried out, how actually they're being trained. Military camp away from family and friends. The camps are situated across the 36 states of the Federation. There is a passing out ceremony at the end of the 3 weeks orientation camp, after which corps members are posted to their place of primary assignment. It's called the P, PPA. I was about to say PAA. They're expected to work full-time staff. They are, uh, they are expected to work as full-time staff at their PPA, with exception of one working day devoted for the execution of community development service, popularly called the CDS. After 11 months at the PPA, core members are allowed 1 month of vacation before their final passing out ceremony, where they will be issued certificate of completion. Okay, so this is a really organized structure. I think it really works to make the youth of Nigeria, familiarize themselves with other parts of the nation. How to meet other ethnic groups and how to socialize. And what is really good about this National Youth Service, it's that you cannot work, as I heard, you cannot have a job in Nigeria, working for the state, and even some private companies. You cannot work if you've not served on the service. So let's see who actually is the eligibility for service, who are eligible for being part of the NYCS. To be eligible to participate in the compulsory 1 year service, a graduate must be below or not above the age of 30 years upon graduation, or else she will be given a certificate of exemption, which is also equivalent to the NYCS discharge certificate. A graduate who graduated before 30 years must keep the service year, with will still be eligible since his certificate of graduation was dated before he clocked 30 years of age. NYSC is compulsory in the sense that the graduate of the country can't request an exemption by themselves unless they are disabled and serve in the military or paramilitary for a period of more than 1 year, or are older than 30 when they graduated. Part-time graduates, SEP, are given exemption since they are not allowed to serve. Yeah, so you must be less than 30 years and you should not be disabled. And this goes to graduate. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about some things that I thought is better. We add it in what could be added in the service to make it more more robust, and we're gonna see why, despite Nigeria has got something like this that actually helps them to build a nation, actually helps them to come together, actually help youth to be patriotic. Why is the country not still like falling apart from what we can see from the outside? So let's just go to the objective of this program, and we're gonna see what Nigerians think about it. Objectives of this program. The objectives of the National Youth Service Corps program was clearly enumerated in Decree number 51 of 16 June 1993 as follows: to inculcate discipline in Nigerian youth by instilling in them a tradition of industry at work, and a patriotic and loyal service to Nigeria in any situation they find themselves. This is really important because, as I said, if you've been listening to me, most African youth, we are not patriotic to our home countries. We can sell our countries in a heartbeat just to get some foreign passport to a European country, we would not think twice because we feel a country is failure. So they were trying to instill this tradition of uh, of industry of work and of patriotism. Okay, let's go again. To raise the moral tone of the Nigerian youth by giving them the opportunity to learn about higher ideas of national achievement, social, social and cultural improvement. Okay, to to develop in the Nigerian youth the attitude of mind acquired through shared experience and suitable training, which will make them more enabled to mobilization in the national interest. To enable Nigerian youth acquire the spirit of self-reliance by encouraging them to develop skills of self-employment, to contribute to the accelerated growth of the national economy, to develop common ties among the Nigerian youth and promote national unity and integration, to improve prejudice, eliminate ignorance. Very good. To eliminate ignorance and confirm at first hand the many similarities among Nigerians of all ethnic groups. Sorry. That is really important. Eliminate ignorance. Most people are just so ignorant about your country, and they know nothing about some other parts of the country. All this tribalism, the nepotism kind of thing. So it's the objective of this program was to try to eliminate this kind of nuances we have today in the society. Okay, to develop a sense of corporate existence and common destiny of the people of Nigeria, to uh, a, the equitable distribution of members of the service corps and the effective utilization of their skills in the areas of national needs, as far as that as far as possible. Youth are assigned to jobs in state other than the state of their origin. This is really, really important because I think this is just how you help to spread the people out of the country so that they understand other regions of their country so that they see them as actually part of their various countries. Yeah, such groups of youth assigned to work together in as representative of Nigeria as far as possible. That the Nigerian youth are exposed to the modes of living of the people in different parts of Nigeria. That the Nigerian youth are encouraged to to exclude religious tolerance by accommodating religion differences. I think Nigeria really, really, really need this. So if this National Youth Service Corps has not actually succeeded in eliminating this difference of religion in Nigeria. So there should be something that is not working, that's not right. So we're gonna see what is happening and what can be done. So okay, the members of the corps are encouraged to seek at the end of their 1 year national service career employment all over Nigeria, thus promoting the free movement of labor. That employers are induce party through their experience with members of the service corps to employ more readily and on a permanent basis qualified Nigerians irrespective of their state of origin. Yeah, there's some criticism. So you can see there's not so much. It means the service is really, really working well. So let's see what some Nigerians say about this national youth services. Then we're gonna criticize and see what we're gonna talk about. And actually, so before we get into that, I just want to say this service to me, I find it like really, really, really interesting. I think most African nations we should be able to implement things like this, because the way it's structured, it's been structured perfectly. And if we are not actually following things like this, then there's something wrong. And this is not just military, though they have some slight military um, uh, exercise or military drills, but the idea of the National Youth Service Corps, as we've read, is just to promote national unity and nation building. I think countries like Eritrea is doing conscription. We're going to talk about conscription, but I think this is really different from conscription, because the conscription one in Eritrea, you are going into the army, but this one is going to serve, and we can see if it's possible to extend services like this in most countries, and why we should try to include everyone, not only graduates, because there are a lot of people who are not doing nothing, who just sit around, who did not go to school, so they are exempted for things like this. But I think there should be a way of trying to bring everyone in such kind of a program. So let's just see what some of these Nigerians are talking about this program. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Okay, let's see. Let me share this again. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay.
When I say coppers we, you shout wa. Coppers we. So hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the updated requirements for NYSC camp. What you need to take to camp to make your stay very, very comfortable. So the first things you need are your documents. You need your call-up letter. So a call-up letter is more like a document. It shows the proof that you are qualified.
Yeah. Thank you, Juju. Thank you, Nigerian Prince. Thank you for passing by. Yeah, I think you're the right ones to give to share more light on this National Youth Service Corps. Yeah. So let's listen to this lovely lady here.
Or you successfully registered for the national service. It contains the state that you are deployed to, the location of your camping address. You can be sent to maybe a particular state, but that state might even have to do camp in another state. So you have to check that particular information. The next document you need is a green slip. So your green slip is going to be available for printing immediately you are done, registering. Call up letter might be available like some weeks later or some days later. So your green slip contains, those details you filled about your kit size, your uniform size and everything. At the end, they'll not still give you the size. Your statement of results. So you need your statement of results, of course, and all your real certificates, depending on if it's ready.
Yeah, so we're talking about the certificate. So it's clear that people who graduated from school needs to go, but what about those who did not go to school? Are they exempted? People who did not attend school. So why are they exempted? So we're gonna share more light on that. Yeah. So I think it has been programmed for graduates, which is not. I think that they're lacking some things over there.
Medical fitness certificates from any hospital. Note that if you want to redeploy with reasons on health grounds, you really need to go with your medical fitness. It's a very, very, very key requirement. And try getting it from a federal hospital. I think it's more recognized when it's a federal hospital. That's if you want to redeploy. But if you don't want to redeploy, just go with any medical fitness from any hospital. Then you need your school ID card. You need passport photos, maybe like 8 or 12 copies. So other documents you can print like one original and 5 photocopies, depending on how many they ask for that particular time. Then your COVID-19 test slip, you do a COVID-19 test before you enter camp. So you print out your COVID-19 test slip from your NYSC site.
Yeah, so we're talking about COVID-19. I think this is just a recent one. That's why we're talking about COVID-19, but I think it's not a general requirement. Yeah.
Going to use to fill in your test result, whether it's negative or positive. For those that did medicine, you have to go with your professor.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Nigerian Prince.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I wanted to give more context here, but you don't have so much time. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm,
okay.
I'm about to head out. I mean, from work. I'm going home. So if you're still online, I'll join back. So
Okay, but say what you want to say. It's all right. No.
no. So the thing, when they started it was because of the civil war after the war, and it was a scheme to try to heal the country and unify. Because back then we had regions, right? And most people usually stayed within their region. The Yorubas and the other tribes in the western region just stayed in the west. The Igbos would stay in the eastern region, and the north stayed in the northern region. So people didn't necessarily travel to various. So that was why that racial what's it called, ethnic tension was still kind of high. So the only people that kind of like moved between regions were the Igbos, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
went to the north, they were everywhere. So it was good, but the problem with most things in Nigeria is after the person that has the passion for that initiative lives there, the next person coming might not see the benefits. They might start cutting funding. That's what happened. They started cutting the funding. Corruption, came in as well. And some people that are maybe schooled in Lagos, they don't want to go to northeastern Nigeria where it's in the bush. They'll bribe their way to for them to get their service redirected to a big city like Abuja or back to Lagos. So stuff like that. But it still helped though. Like I don't believe they should scrap it or anything. They can improve on where it has failed because it has helped the younger generation see everyone, each other as one Nigeria. Now, a lot of those guys that still share that sentiments of tribalism, most of them never went to school. They still stay in their own ethnic group, so they can't really see the next man as his brother. You have multiple Nigerians that got married during the NYC years because guess what?
Yeah, just cutting you short. I was going to get into there. I have these guys that
Yeah,
I heard these guys say people just go to NYCS to get wives and
yeah,
husbands.
a lot of them.
But, but,
So
but, but, but look, even that is not bad, because I think that's the prime year that you can actually have
yeah,
a partner. There's nothing wrong with that,
because
and it's
you as a
difficult.
young guy, you meet a young girl, you guys are trying to figure out the world together, and you share ideas, and just like that, bam, you know. So a lot of people get meet their wives during that NYC service year, and most of the time she will be from a different tribe or he will be from a different tribe. Let's say you come from a region where all you hear is negatives about Igbos. Now you go there. Now next thing you see, you meet amazing people. You're part of the culture in that village. Because me, I served in the east, and I was in like Owerri, Imo State. It's a Igbo town. I met a lot of most of my friends that I met then are still my friends till this day, and they're all Igbos. So sometimes when they talk about all this marginalization, I can hear where they're coming from because I can see the plight also, and I can also challenge them when I feel like they're bullshitting because I know, sure you understand. So it did help, but like I said, with most things with Nigeria, corruption plays a part, and lack of funding. They cut the funding, you know, but they made it compulsory. So a lot of people don't have a choice because if you intend to work in Nigeria, no company will hire you if you don't have that
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
certificate.
Yeah, so I was just talking like in general because this thing is only happening in Nigeria, and I think the way Africa it is now, we need a service like this. And to me, maybe if the country says a year is not enough, maybe they need 2 more years. You understand? To me, if people
They'll
just have.
protest in Nigeria.
No, no, no. I understand. Sometimes it sounds harsh, and if you don't know, in Europe, it was compulsory, but theirs was more of a military. It
Yeah.
was more of a military conscription because it was due to wars. But the problem with this in Nigeria is, what do you do with people who did not go to school?
Yeah, if you don't go to school, you don't qualify for it. So that's
Exactly, which
that's the
which
thing.
is which is wrong. I think they should look for another way to get people who did not go to school. To me, if anyone in any country needs to be uh, part of, if you have not served your country, you should not be able to work. I think it should be compulsory. Even it should be like the local work or even sell in the market. You understand? So I will thank you that for coming. So I think yeah, you guys just got me really really quick, but it's all right. Thank you for coming. And so we're just talking about this national youth service, how it's really important for Africans, to implement. I don't know if you have been here, but we've seen how Nigeria has implemented it, and it's working. It's not working. I think the origin, the objective of this national youth service is really clear, and it's really really it's a fantastic thing. But how can we actually make it work, because we have all these objectives and all these criterias, but it's not working, because as all the camps, what they're doing is like, okay, just go there and take your name and you leave. I don't really see as if the service actually pass in them. You understand? So we'll get in there. So what do you have to say that?
I want to say, Nigerian Prince, did you finish saying what you needed to say?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. National Youth Service, I think it's a brilliant initiative by Nigeria as well. I think in the old world, it's a case in which when they didn't have proper military service, whenever there's a war, people are get called into, families and neighborhoods are get called into to go to participate in war as well. This encourages some form of familiarity or some form of nationhood or something like that. So I think it's a good initiative. The Nigerians, especially, I've only seen in Nigeria. I've heard Nigerian people that want to serve in the middle. It encourages a level of nationalism from the military standpoint. You get a sense of nationalism because you get indoctrinated in that. You get indoctrinated in nationalism, and it also gives you a sense of servitude to the nation as well. Otherwise, anybody is just doing whatever they want to do. You understand what I mean? A Nigerian prince could be out there managing his servers and all that kind of stuff. Anybody could be doing making money, but nobody's ever serving the army. So I think it was another nation that I read. I think either China or North Korea or something. They said you must serve at least 5 years of your life, and then you can renew it if you want to continue in the army and all that stuff. But at least you must dedicate a few years of your life as
Hmm.
well to serve in the army and all that kind of stuff. If a lot of people did this, it will give that it will do better, at least do better to give that sense of nationhood or that national pride that is missing, that leads many African people to feeling as we're individuals, because there's a reason why we're individuals, because a lot of us don't believe in the states that are created. A lot of us don't believe in this state. We have more faith in our tribes and our people than we do the nation states as well. Why? Because the nation states are artificial to us, and you won't find an Igbo or Yoruba feeling an actual sense of nationhood with a Fulani from the north. They are
Yeah.
completely separate. So in this state, you amalgamate a whole bunch of people to behave like a nation state. They are already nation states. In fact, the Yoruba tribe is bigger than bigger than Belgium. It's bigger than the nation of Belgium. So Yoruba is not a tribe; that's a nation. You have amalgamated nations into other nations to create these kind of nations. We should be actually a super nation states. That's the thing. We should be super nation states because we're mixing different nations together.
Hmm.
So you see, Kifaru. Here's the thing. So, how did Russians overcame this? They overcame this with federations, your federational states, and all that stuff. But still, there's still a sense that they impart in other Russians to serve the Russian Federation.
Hmm.
Nigeria is a federation, so I think it's
Yeah,
okay. I think it's a
yeah.
brilliant.
Sometimes our culture, the way we have been raised, in Africa, it might be a little bit different from the Western world, and they don't really have like tribes and things like that. So maybe they have regions, but
They did.
it,
They
it
did.
might.
Actually, they did, Kifaru. Like I said, Belgium is a tribe. You understand? Belgium is a tribe. If you see the Franks are a tribe that later amalgamated and that other later included other tribes. The Anglos are a tribe that came from northern Germany. These are European tribes that actually absorbed other smaller tribes in to make a bigger nation states. You know, but still the language is a tribe. But they came to us in a different period. You understand? It's not like Greece where you had multiple different Greek cities just join together and create something bigger and all that kind of stuff. With Europeans, it's like bigger tribes absorb smaller tribes, and that's what it resulted
Yeah,
in.
they what's it called? Envelope them into a bigger tribe, and
It's
over
a
the
bigger tribe.
years, yeah, that minority tribe, their lineage or heritage, like say, starts to erase away until they become that one major
Yeah,
tribe. Because the people that
exactly.
were in that France area now with the Gauls, right? There were other
Yep,
Germanic tribes around them. You
yep,
had the
yep.
what's the Celts, when the
You
Anglo-Saxons came into, so they were all like, little tribes that amalgamated into a larger tribe,
yeah.
so
Yeah. And that was the trajectory of Africa if colonialism hadn't happened. Although I think Islam would have dominated, but at least it would have created a nation state. You understand what I mean? Because the
Mhm.
Muslims were on the move. But the trajectory of Africa was definitely on the path of amalgamating these tribes into. I tell you, some tribes would have disappeared today, man. You would never have heard
yeah,
of
a
them.
lot a lot of tribes don't exist anymore. We just don't
They
know
don't
of
exist.
them. That's the
So,
thing.
so the advent of Europeans, in a way, kind of made sure other primitive, unnecessary tribes would be there. I will not say unnecessary. They are necessary. They are necessary, but we still remain. It's
Yeah, I
Kifado.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this idea, because to me, for African youth just sitting, I don't just want to make it a Nigerian thing. To me, I think even in my country, we actually still need something like this. You understand? A country
Mm,
where people still see themselves, like in most African countries, we still see ourselves as tribes. You understand?
mm,
Because for me, I take myself as an example. The first time I went to the north, not even the north, we call him like Adamawa province. It's not
mm,
like it's almost the middle. I felt I was in a different country, but that was my country. I
Mhm.
thought, well, this is a different country. You understand?
Now that's how it is. Then you realize that your reality as a Cameroonian is different from those people that live in that region. You
Exactly,
know.
and they too, if they have to come to my region, they will feel really alienated, and that is wrong. But I think
Yep.
the way the government is trying to do that now in Cameroon, they're trying to spread out university faculties all across the country, because before it was just concentrated in some big cities, and everyone from all parts of the country need to come and just study there. So if you don't go to that town, like for people who did not go to the university, maybe in Yaoundé or Douala, you will not meet people from the north. But now they have taken the agricultural department, which is like the faculty, that's the biggest one, and I've sent it to the side of towards the north, Adamawa. So for those who have to want to graduate in agriculture, guess what? You need to go to the north side. So they're trying to make, and it's another kind of idea, like to mix everyone up. Before now in my town, why my town, we have the University of Boya. They've got this, actually the one of the biggest nursing department in the country, and they've brought it there, and they've kind of like taken out for most of those other universities. They're doing that on purpose because they want people to mix in the country, and it's actually working. So to me, there need to be a way of mixing people up. And to me, this national youth service, is something that most African countries should implement. It gives these people the some sense of belonging, some sense of nationhood. And you see people from other side, you mix with them, and you actually see them as part of your nations. Yeah.
Yep. And he also provides like a base knowledge in terms of when the military might need conscription, because like we in our time we weren't fighting any wars, so we didn't really do too much military drills. But in my parents' generation, they learned how to shoot guns, you know,
mm,
notice setting ambush, learn how to hunt and stuff like that. Now we just did a
mm,
lot of physical exercise, like walk on a rope from one tree to another. We wake up like 5 a.m., jog for like I don't know how many miles. Then stuff like that. So
but
yeah.
in terms of imparting a sense of nationhood or pride or patriotism into the nation, what did they do in that side?
So now, like, take for example, right? Me, I'm from the south. I went to school most of my what's it called, my adult education, my higher education rather, in the western region at the time.
Mhm.
So I served in the east with the Igbos. That's where they are. So now what will happen is during your 3 weeks of military boot camp, when you do all the training and all that stuff, when you're done, there's what they call a place of, I forget what they call them, PPA or something like that, permanent
Yeah,
assignment or something like
place
that.
of I think what is place of permanent something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So some people like me, they transferred me to a school in a remote area. So I was like the math teacher, I was the English teacher, I was the science teacher, because they don't even have teachers there. So we had to. Some people will be contracted to do like what's it called, community service, make sure that the roads are clean, they pick up the trash. So they force you to integrate into that society that you find
Mm,
yourself in. So it could be different. You could be a consultant for a farmer that doesn't know how to speak English. You can help him translate, working with different companies and stuff like that. So that's how they try to force you to integrate into that society.
Okay, so you,
well,
you
that's a
have
good.
actually, okay, go
Go on, Kifado. Go on, Kifado.
yeah, so you have actually been part of this national youth service.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, so how is it actually, how does it work? No, so what are the flaws to it, if I may ask you? According to you, what do you think can be can be what because the way it seems it is there, but it's like it
before we
does not
before
work.
we
People can play their way around it. People can bribe their way, as you said.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You can bribe your way around it, but it's only like in most times in Africa, it's the rich ones, the middle class that always perpetrate this kind of act. Because the regular poor person cannot afford to bribe his way out. So people like them two Nigeria that is in the UK with his money, if they send him to where Boko Haram is, he can cry and his daddy will send him £200. They will give the commission, they will change him back to Lagos, stuff like that. So you can't blame people because some people are scared. When you push it to the far north, the parents get nervous and they bribe their way so they can what's it called, post them to a different location. So stuff like that do happen. Yeah. So how they're going to curb that, I don't really know. But also, during the 3 weeks when you're in camp, they have like some lectures and courses. She will tear that rope. So I have a friend. His business, he makes soap and detergent. Guess where he learns it? In the NYSC camp. Because they bring all those people that will teach you skills like tailoring, carpentry, shea butter, black soap, so you can learn. So that's how he learned how to make soap and detergent that he makes locally and he sells in his own little shop. So now what they need to do, this girl will just hurt herself. They can introduce other skills like science and technology within that 3 weeks for people that want to learn programming,
mm.
website development, and all that stuff too.
Hold on. Can I ask some pertinent questions, Nigerian Prince, right? So, Nigerian Prince, most people will wonder, like, all those years that you're wasting in your life in the army or something, what are you learning to prepare yourself? So, where did you learn the skills you needed to work in the IT industry? Who taught you those skills? Was it in that during that period or after that stuff?
Yeah, definitely after. I learned all this one by
Definitely.
myself.
So is there
Yeah.
a way? Because I know some people that are who worked in the IT industry and they were part. Because one benefit of working of serving your country is not only does it encourage a sense of nationalism, but also encourages a discipline, a sense of discipline. They teach you
True,
some
true.
discipline, but also they could impart you with some technical skills at the same time as well. Whoever wants to do, at least they come with nationalism, discipline, and a technical skill. So I think one thing the military could have done is completely teach you what you already know right now instead of having to go learn it outside, like sponsor it. Do you understand? So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So I'm
but
wondering, like, you cannot have people in a way you say, oh, they should all waste a couple of the years go learn the military or something, and then after they came out of the military, when they decided they didn't want to go all the way, they come
yeah,
out now they have to relearn the
yeah,
skills.
but the National Youth Service, this one is a little bit different from the military. I think they just go because it's military count, but it's not. I don't really think they teach them military skills. It's just
Nah,
they,
you just do like I said. What's it
yeah,
called? Boot camp. Physical exercise. You jog.
because
It's
exactly.
those.
It's just 3 weeks
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, you just 3 weeks in this camp. Then after they post you somewhere, so it's
Oh,
not.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
So it's mostly community service that you're doing, but you just do 3 weeks in like some sort of like a boot camp, controlled by military personnel. So you're gonna wake up in the morning, you jog, they'll teach you how to march, play instruments, like sort of like a military band. They
Mm.
have like obstacle courses that you have to do. Like you see that girl trying to climb over that rope. So they might have like a huge pillar here and with like a rope bridge that you have to walk across to the other side.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
just small drills like that.
yeah, see, that this is just it. So let me just try to read this quick. They say members, participants in the National Youth Service Scheme are posted to states other than their state of origin, where they are expected to mix with people from different ethnic groups, social and family background, and learn the culture of the indigenes in the location they are posted to. The action is aimed at bringing about unity in the country and help the youth appreciate their to appreciate other ethnic groups. There is an orientation period of approximately 3 weeks. spend in a military controlled camp away from their family. So they have a military just for 3 weeks away from the family and friends. The camps are situated across the 36 states. I don't know if there are more or less now. Federation. There's
Yes.
also a passing out ceremony at the end of the 3 weeks orientation camp, which after which core members are posted to their place of primary assignment. So that's
Assignment.
so it's just like 3 weeks in the camp, and after they have been posted for a year. So the rest of the time you're working for the government and you get paid, right?
Yeah, you get paid a minimum wage, and
Exactly.
sometimes if you're lucky, maybe they post you to like a neighborhood or to a company. The company to will pay you also.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's I think it's a good thing because if we can have these things, you pay these people for that one year.
Kifaru, man, see this thing they're doing here. I tried it and my legs were shaking. That's
Of
how I
course,
knew I was scared of heights.
of course, this one is crying. Of course, so if you can actually bring these kids to work for a year to save your government for a year and pay them like minimum wage. That's a massive time. So if you can actually utilize these people and train them to work for the government and 1 year paying the minimum wage, the government can actually save a lot of money. And it's not only good, it's helping these people love their country and the government saving money. So why do you employ so many although sometimes you might need expert, but if you can actually utilize these people, these young people, to me, it's I don't see anything wrong with this national youth service. It's not a conscription. So they kind of twist it a little bit to make it favorable for people because not
Yeah,
everyone.
like over the years it changed. Like I said, during my parents' era, there was a lot more military training because that was like fresh after the war. But as peace started to reign, they started to tone down the whole like they don't teach you how to shoot guns anymore and stuff like that. But in their own time, they learned how to shoot, basic human survival and all that stuff, which they've reduced. Now you just do physical exercises like this.
Yeah, I think we have Jude supremacists. Welcome, bro. Yeah, you've been quiet. So, what do you have to say about youth service? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think, or how can we make it better, or do you think it's not relevant today?
Um, I want to start by thanking my guy, Nigerian Points and Dar and Kifao. This is the thing, right?
Shout
What
out.
Nigeria is doing, I think is good for them. I think it's good. I think it's good for them, right? Because let me take for instance, in the state, they have what they call selective service. Now, what is selective service? Selective service is okay. You have to register for selective service. It is mandatory, especially for immigrants when they come into these countries. A certain age, you have to be registered as a selective service. What does that mean? It means that if America is going to war and there are shortage of military at the war front, you can be selected. You can just be picked up in a group and say, okay, go ahead, go to training and defend America. I think that's something that Africa really needs. But how do we the way we do the way it is not really taking into, like, I see what is happening in Nigeria, right? This, I mean, making it mandatory for people after a whole high school or university to go and do 1 year. That's great. That's great. But at the same time, what is the importance? What are you gaining out of it once you are done with it? What is it for? Like, because it's to force
Hello.
people to do certain things, then at the end of the day there's nothing that um,
Mhm.
so I mean, if like you want to organize something like this in Africa, they have to be something that you are fighting for. What is it? What are they gaining after that? What next? What level? So
Yeah.
those are the kind of questions that you have to ask, and then to solve it. Because even now, Nigeria, that the service have not helped Nigeria in any
Mhm.
form, shape. People are still roaming down the street. People still don't have job.
That's
People are
not
still
true.
idle. So,
We've not fought any war since they implemented it.
Yeah, good. If,
come
if,
on.
if you go on their
Uh-huh.
program, the objective is clearly stated. and maybe they have a problem of implementing it. That might be one problem. Then
Do
if
you
you
know
have
how many intra-tribal marriages has happened because of this NYC? A lot.
But do you? But the thing, okay, Nigeria, please let me ask you a question. Do you guys have like transfer? Do they transfer you guys when you a teacher? Do they transfer you to another region?
That they used to do that back in the day, and
Okay,
that's
like in Cameroon.
if government staff. Yeah,
Oh, in Cameroon, you see, transfer is very common. You can be a teacher in this part of the region, and they send you all the way north. You don't even have to ask for it. It take you by surprise. Even a military, even a police officer. So that's why I say the integration in Nigeria is different from the way other countries are, especially when that was talking, because I think they also have that kind of transfer. They mingle more because you could have
Yeah.
somebody in the east or in Gambia. Maybe he is working as a teacher. And then they send him to another region or province. In Cameroon, is common. So I think integration is more
But
common. I
it's
think
more than that,
Nigeria, that
Jude,
one
isn't
we
it?
instead have Nigeria.
It's more than that, Jude, isn't it? Like it's a case in which if you look at the situation and how urgent it is for Nigeria at the moment, of course not everybody wants to no wants to subscribe to going into the front lines and serving their country as well and dying for their country. It's a tough one. I don't know what's up. But there's certain things that have to come out from Nigeria in the sense that as even Nigerian Prince was detailing in today's conversation with UFC superfan, that Nigerians are very individualistic. Individualistic means people that sometimes are not, sometimes they're not actually, they're disciplined. These people are people that thrive on the chaos. You know what I mean? They thrive in a chaotic environment. But you need them to be disciplined to a certain extent. You understand? So the military, you need the military to add a sense of nationalism. You need the military to add a sense of discipline. But not only that, if you're gonna borrow these people for 5 years, you want to marry the education system and the military service. You want to marry it together, like what they study in university. That is, they could study IT, they could study whatever field they study, but they have the military aspect into it, or they have the discipline of the military aspect and all that stuff. So if you can have these as another subject in it, you can keep them for 5 years, and then they can decide if they want to serve the country or they want to pursue their skills later on. You understand what I mean? So you don't actually waste their time. You don't waste
yeah,
their time.
like that. We have that. That's why there's like the Nigerian Defense Academy, right? So
Yeah.
they have like the one that's like the secondary school and the university. So all they will teach you it's like a regular university, but you're going to be learning military tactics in terms of how to stop bleeding. If you are going into healthcare, engineering, how to make firearms from copper, what's it called, balls and all that stuff. So they
that's
do
good.
it does exist. You know, it's just that some Nigerians don't know about it, so they don't talk about it. It's in Kaduna, right there in the north. So it does exist. So right from your primary school, all you're getting is military tactics and information. Yeah, you do your maths and physics and all that stuff. But if you are going to be in the Air Force from time to time, they'll put you on the airplane and they'll throw you down with the parachute. So you learn all that stuff. So from the early age, they're already indoctrinating them into the, like you said, patriotism and also learning skills that can
Yeah,
make them employable. Also, if they choose not to venture into the military when they're done with their academy, so it does
Now,
exist.
now, now, now
No, that's
Nigerian
for
Prince,
that's for you
would
to
you say,
leave, man. That's for you
Nigerian
to
Prince,
leave, Darwin. Not for
hold on, last Zulu, you're gonna go. Now, would you say what the military offer in terms of technical skills? Would you say it's very lackluster to what other private companies might
Yeah,
offer?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
So
Well,
you
I
think
can't
there
say
is
that
a
because
gap?
I never went to the school. So, but if I'm to assume, I'll assume that it's lackluster.
guys, let's just listen to what she says. Then we'll
All
Lazuli
right,
can.
Kifaru, I'm about to head out. If you're still live, I'll join back. All right, thanks.
Okay, thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing. Let's just listen
Nigerian
to this.
Prince,
Alpha.
be careful, man. I heard they say Nigeria, Lagos is getting rough with
Guy,
tomorrow election.
nothing happened. Bulletproof.
Yeah,
Touch me.
my guy said nothing will happen. Okay, no
They're
wahala.
not allowed in camp. They're not allowed to carry mattress, of course, because there's already mattress. They're not allowed to carry sophisticated gadgets, no laptop, no cameras, Clipper is not allowed, pressing iron is not allowed, and weapons, of course. If you go with any other extra thing to camp that is not allowed, they'll definitely keep it for you. Then after camp, they give it to you. So first off, your clothing. Aside the fact that NYC gives you your NYC crested vest and your khaki up and down khaki, your jungle boots, they'll give you two white socks. They are going to give you two white short knicker.
Yeah, actually, it's not bad,
They're
So
going to give you two
Yeah,
white
it's not bad to
t-shirts,
borrow.
round neck
It's not.
t-shirts, a white flat sneaker, and of course your NYC cap. So first of all, you're going to need extra white
But
t-shirt
my
because this
question
t-shirt
is,
and
what is
shorts
the
is
purpose?
what you wear every day in
I think that
camp.
the purpose is clear. For me, it's national integration. It's not about teaching people how to fight, how to shoot, or whatever. Is
Oh,
I think the
national,
kind of
yeah.
instill that pride of nationalism, because I said if you go to the North, Jude, you think you're in a different country. You understand? In Cameroon, and if these
No,
people are
but I have friends in the north who are
Like every
teachers.
day,
So I
that's your
mean that
uniform,
when you
morning,
talk of
afternoon, and
national
night. So is it
integration,
extra? If you
it's
bank on the
okay.
one NYS is giving you, the quality might not be nice to go with extra, as many as possible. Extra white and green socks or plain white socks. You need to go with, the rubber sneakers. It's very easy to wash and dry and you wear it immediately. Yeah. Just go with one rubber sneaker, maybe one fancy sneaker for carnival. You go with casual Sunday wears. There are actually 3 Sundays in camp, depending on when you come. Yeah, so you need at least 3 Sunday wears. And Sundays are free dressing days, meaning you don't wear your white and white. But from 4 o'clock every Sunday is parade. So you still have to wear white and white in the evening. But throughout the day you can go on mufti. So carry extra muftis of course, so that after camp you need to travel, you just wear them and travel.
okay. So thank you, Zulu FBA Ghost for passing by. So, what do you think about the National Youth Service? I don't know if you know anything about it. Have you heard about it? Do you know
That's
anything
Hammer,
about it?
man. His name is Hammer. Hammer is changing names. That's his name, Hammer.
No, this no, it's not Hammer. Is that Hammer? It's not Hammer.
What's up? How you doing? How you doing? No, I don't know too much about this. I'm actually here to kind of learn on this one. So I'm just going
No,
to add a little
yeah.
input.
Okay, the idea is a national youth service. A compulsory national youth service for youth. Do you think that is at least 1 year? Do you think? What do you think about that idea? Well, you might be in the West, it might be a little bit different. So you might not see it as
From
important.
what ages?
When from people after you graduate from high school, or I don't know, is it? I don't
I
know
think
if
I
you
think I
have
think
high
it's
school.
like primary school for y'all, or what do y'all call it? Primary school, high school. What is it for y'all?
It's we have primary school. It's different from different countries, but let's say before you get into the university,
Okay, okay. Like,
yeah,
but
just
I
that.
look at it from like until you get to university level, basically. So I
Yes, yes.
got you.
So the maximum age is 30. I think minimum age, according to Nigeria, I don't know if I can see it on this their thing here. Yeah, it's just they say below 30, but mostly for people who went to school and colleges. So to me, yeah. So just when you finish that 1 year before, or 1 year after you finish your school, or 1 year after you graduate, you must actually have a compulsory national youth service. If you don't, you can't work. You need to have that certificate. It's a compulsory certificate for you to get employment in the country.
Okay, so what did they do for you that you just need to get this certificate?
What do
Like, what's
they
so special about it?
what do they do for you?
Yes.
It's not about what they're doing for you. It's a way of bringing about national um, uh, integrity and nation building and patriotism for the country.
If you wanted to do that, it's simple. All you would simply just really need to do, what kind of usually helps to do that is, was it schools? Like I've been saying, schools help for that.
Now, okay, you don't understand. That's why I say you're coming from the West. So, like in most African countries, people see themselves as different. If I go to the school for my region, I only see people in my region. I don't see people from another region. You just by telling me about some other part of the region, it does not really make sense. But if I meet someone from that other region, we can live together, okay, and share together, live in a camp, build, do things together. It's different. It's like in the military.
Uh
You
huh.
understand? Yeah, it's just like when you get into the military, you meet people from all other sort of life, from all other places. So that's the
Yeah.
idea. So
I
you
mean,
serve. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
was saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying because for me, I don't. I'm I'm coming from the West, so like I said, I may not understand.
Yeah,
But for
yeah,
me,
exactly.
when I went to school, right, like like you had your group of friends that you wanted to go talk to, you can go talk to, right? But also, but just because how spread out you was, you had to go make new friends. It was just how it just was what it was, right? So from how it was set up in the West, right? That's all I can say. You had to make new friends with different people. It didn't really matter. It was just because
no,
you had so many different people in so many different areas. When you had to go to math class, your math class was over here, and it's like at 2 o'clock, and like who knows how many people may be going to that math class at that point in time, and who may have that class at that point in time. Like like you don't even know. You know what I mean? So you just whoever you got stuck with in that math class, you just stuck with them for like whatever 6 months until you got that class until it was done. So it's just like you just had to get used to having been around different groups of people. Now, for me and where we were from how we came up, it was it is what the fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
This shit
Dad,
probably free
you're
practice and
about to
shit,
say
bro.
something.
yeah, I think FBA Baga raises some good concerns as well. But FBA, my guy, what it is that in Africa you have these different tribes, right? So
I
you
understand
want to
that.
create avenues, or different ways in which all these other different types of people can get to learn about each other to actually kind of spur some sense of nation statehood and all that stuff. And the military is just one of them avenues as well. Not only is it an avenue to kind of build a sense of nationalism, but it's also another avenue to kind of build a sense of discipline amongst the individuals, impart discipline in them in the military, as you would know. You understand what I mean? And then not only it is that, if they couple
Have you heard?
it
Okay, I'm
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me finish. Control
okay.
yourself. If they couple it with with giving them a sense, with giving them some technical skill set, technical ability, which if you look at it, most of the time you have high school, college, and then university. I think in America it's different, but those years you spend in college, I think they could be spent in the military. If it's 2 years you have to spend there in another place, yes, and then it could actually inspire you to say, you know what, maybe I want to do something technical. I want to do cybersecurity for I want to work in the cybersecurity field. Well, the military has given you that foundation. You understand what I mean? And not only has it given you the foundation to go in cybersecurity, it's given you the foundation to be disciplined as an individual and also to be national, to be somebody that has national pride because you have had to experience different peoples from all over your country. So, do you think that's a good way, Last Zulu?
Yeah, but that's what kind of school does. I mean, like for like I said, we have the Prussian school system, which is basically a military kind of college anyway. That's what I was
Mm.
saying. If you look up right, if you right now, I can pull it up for you. What was it? The Prussian school system. I think.
Prussian,
What is it?
okay. The
Like,
Prussian school system, is it compulsory?
composery. Say that. What does that mean? I'm sorry. I
Is
may
it
not.
mandatory? Is it
Compulsory mean
mandatory?
Yeah,
mandatory.
it's guaranteed. It's in the system. Like it is the school system that you go to that when you come into school, right? Like basically, all right, like still like all right now. You stop right there, right?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
go on.
pause?
Yeah,
Can you pause?
Yeah.
pause.
It's not,
Like
there's no voice, so
no. I'm saying I want you. All right now, right? Okay, what a Prussian school system is, right? When you come into school, right, the first thing you do is like you come sit down in your class with her, right? You like everybody's in the lunchroom or the big auditory room or whatever, right? Like everybody like the hangout room for right.
Mhm.
Then the teacher comes in and they call you in, right? So then you have to line up just like that. It's basically it's the same. It's like like I'm telling you, it's military indoctrination at an early age. I'm telling you, it's basically
Really?
you come in, you line up basically in like different little formations where like only difference is instead of this wide line, it's just one long line, right? All the boys and girls get up, you go to line, go outside or whatever, or you go into your classroom. You all each teacher comes get you, just like you had one lieutenant. You come in, lieutenant comes and tell you, quote unquote, or let's say your teacher
Wait,
comes
wait. I'm,
in.
I'm I'm not understanding. So, maybe I'm missing something. Are you trying to say that's what is happening in America now?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's if you look up right now, was it Prussian school system? It's the same thing. It basically it's the same thing as what you
So
basically
it's
you're telling.
well, I know, but so any all Americans go under that system. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah,
So everyone in
Did
America
you
goes
go
under
through
the.
that system? Did you have to go through the military system before you started university or college or anything like
it
that?
wasn't a military. It like see okay, that's ROTC, that's different, right? But the same bare bones of the system is the same, right? You may not quote unquote do military stuff, but you still do math, science, history,
Yeah,
gym, and
Yeah,
whatever,
because yeah,
right?
yeah.
someone says it's
That's what that's
look at
basic.
this because I don't. It's weird because America, you're asking people to serve. I don't. It's rare for me to say you have to force. You having a system. People will kick. People are not against. People will be against that. So if you're telling me in America they have a pension system that everyone needs to undergo a military thing,
It's not
I
it
find it
no, no, but it's not
skeptical to
military.
believe.
That's what I'm saying. If you can you type in school was it Prussian school system? I can type it in, give it to you if you need me to.
I know, yeah, but maybe it means that, but is it being implemented in America? That's the problem. I'm not saying that there's
Basically,
nothing like that.
in a bare bones way, yes. It's not exactly
Yeah,
like it's not bar for bar, right? You like like you don't necessarily gotta take
no, okay.
bar for
I
bar
think
exactly, but the
I think
bare
we are
bones of the
speaking.
system, yes,
Yeah,
it is
we're
the same.
speaking two different things. We're talking about a nation, like a nationwide system, not some people who want or some people who do not want. You understand? Some
Yeah,
people may want to go into that, yeah, but we're talking about something that is mandatory, like for,
let
like
me.
you need to have it before you can walk. So it's completely different.
Okay, look, okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you. Okay, when you come to, I don't know, if when you come to the U.S. and whatever, what can you do in this society without a high school diploma?
I don't know what
I mean, you
just
can't do nothing. No, that's just self-explanatory. I mean, you can't do anything without a high school diploma.
Mm.
yes.
Right,
So you can't
right,
do
right.
anything without at least having that first.
So what's different, Can you tell us
Yeah,
more?
I think
Can you
it's
tell us?
different.
Can you tell us more, Last Zulu, on the Prussian school system in reference to this conversation as well? Because I think if I was talking about military conscription in a way as a or to a certain period or something. So how is the Prussian school system different as well? Tell us more about that.
It's basically it got changed over the last 5 years. That's kind of what the fuck is the last no, we're actually about the last
Mm.
10 years ago. They changed it
Mm.
over to try to do this new feminist bullshit that ain't really working. They trying to tell everybody they
But
can.
tell us how it was originally as
Okay,
well.
but basically it was you come into school, your teachers may either do one or two things, like depending on the quote unquote public school. If you had a private school, it may be different, right? Because private school you,
Mhm.
you pay a little extra money, but public school is simple. You go into the auditorium, you either go to breakfast early in the morning, right? Or you got the order that's a teacher come get you, right? So it's usually like you sit in the auditorium, teachers line up to come get you, they take you to your classroom, or you have to go to your classroom, depending on what level and grade you are. Like if you get the
Right.
lower grades, you got to go get your kid. But we have to we get to like high school and but right before you go to college level,
So
basically.
is that some kind of a black people school? Is it a
Mm,
black thing?
that's standard. Everybody. That's kind of standard all over the United States.
But go on, lead to where it involves the military involved because you have not gone that. You have not said that one yet. How
No,
does it? Yeah, go on.
all right. What I'm saying is right. All right. The same mindset. Which okay, basically, all right. Since you're like 5 years old, what are they telling you to do? They tell you get in here, come here, necessarily get in line, come here with me. We're going to go do this, right? They've been telling you doing that basically since you're like what 5 years old, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
Well,
it's just completely.
I
It's
think
not
it's
just
completely
about
different from
school.
what Kifaru is talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
To be
because
honest,
all
it's
these
different.
people have been to school. They've had all those training and things like that. They've been, this is after school before you get into work. You need to
Yeah,
have this. It's something really
Kifaru is
universal.
talking about something different.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. So
talking
so
about
that, yeah,
the
yeah,
basics that are required, which pretty much every
yeah, yeah.
country
We just
or
haven't,
nation
yeah.
state does these days.
So
To
so
be honest,
that so that
yeah.
if I may ask you, okay, we've seen all this that Nigeria, they've implemented this. So why do you think it's not working? Because looking this document, the documentation, what this thing was meant to provide, it seems the feeling they still have a really big
Because it's
tribal.
underfunded, Kifaru. It's underfunded because Nigerians are, I don't want to say it badly, most Africans, black people, we are cheats and we take money from what is supposed to fund a good cause and all that stuff. If this was the most funded institution to give people some skills or some level of discipline in their life or a place to be in and all that stuff, you find a lot of Nigerians who still believe in this thing. But it's not believing it because it's underfunded and it doesn't work. Like I asked Nigerian Prince earlier, yes, you did this program, but this program didn't impart you with any skills to do after this. So you only had one choice: either go with the military entirely, or go find another way to find your life. And he had to come out of this program and go find himself a skill set, and he had to be trained from outside of the military. You
Mhm.
understand? Because the military is underfunded in terms of funding for the enough sufficient military and funding for training people adequately. So Nigerian Prince had to go and find something else to be able to do his ASW something and all that stuff. You know, Amazon. He's a network. He's a systems engineer, but he didn't learn that from the military. So if you can find a way to kind of incentivize people to do this service, but attract them through other technical skills that they could join. At the same time, through that process, you will inspire a lot of people to actually want to serve the army more than they would go anywhere else. Do you understand what I mean? You will have a lot more people join the army than deviate. Rather than if you are to leave them alone, they will just go find their own things to do, and you'll have nobody to dedicate in the army. I think it's very necessary, Kifaru.
Yeah, because okay, I was listening to, if you actually want this everyone, like every graduate to be to get into this kind of a camp, it might become really 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 expensive for the country, like to take care of all these people,
But
feed them,
Kifaru, it's just two
accommodate.
years, right? It might become expensive, but remember, you have to remember, Kifaru. In the UK here, we have to do only 2 years of college. 2 years of college. The rest is university. So, in many parts of the world, you have to do 2 years. What are you doing? Most people are fucking wasting their time in those 2 years of college. You know what they do in Kifaru? They're figuring out what they want to do in university. You understand what I mean? So the year of college is used as a way in order to inspire people wherever they want to go. So that those 2 years, or if you want to make it 4 years, but those 2 years are very important to decide for the kid to decide where they want to join. It's the years to inspire someone. It's the years in someone's life to inspire them what they want to do. You understand what I mean? So I think that's where these things should apply. If in a way, you understand what I'm saying?
So like, okay, so let's
Oh, I
so
took
do you
that in the
think,
background for you.
yeah,
That's what I was
Oh,
saying. It's a little bit different than how I think
mm,
you're describing it, but that's how we necessarily have it in our classes.
yeah, I don't know what
yeah,
you're talking about. There are a
it's
lot of
different.
people,
I sent it
Americans
to you in the
there.
background. You can see it in the. It's in the private chat.
Yeah, there are a lot of Americans on this panel. They say they don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I will look about that.
It
I'll
is
look
a little bit
about
different,
it.
La Zulu is a bit different, but
Yeah.
I get what
So
you're saying. It's just different.
so so that is there a place for something like this in African nation?
Definitely, there's a place for something like this, and like I said, you want any avenue to promote any sense of nationalism, and if this is an avenue in which you can grab a whole lot of mindsets, a lot of different people or something together, you can definitely have a chance to actually indoctrinate in them, or not just indoctrinate. I don't want to say indoctrinate or propagandize them or something, but yes, that's Dr. Kizo will say yes, that's what it is. That you have to do the dark side. So, but either way, you have their attention in these two periods in their life between college and university. If you are not able to turn two people within 2 years or something, if you're not able to turn enough people within 2 years to join and be nationalistic, then you're doing something really wrong and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So either way, one thing you do is you give them avenues to learn technical skills than they would, because if they were going to learn it something, I'm telling you, I bet you Nigerian Prince had to pay so much money in Nigeria to do his the AWS. You understand what I'm saying,
Mm.
Kifaru? He
Yeah.
had to pay a
Okay.
lot of money to do AWS.
Exactly. So do you think
Yeah.
so? From what you said, these people just have to spend 3 weeks in this military camp. That is
Not
not enough.
3 weeks,
So
2 years. 2 years.
no, I mean
Two
this
years
national
between
youth
the
service.
period, 2 years between the period of college and university. Because
So you
after your
think?
high school, you have college and university. After college and university, then you decide what you really want to do. Do you want to continue with the army, or do you want to go and pursue something different from the technical skills you have gained?
Okay. So according to you, you want that the years of this service should be extended to 2 years.
2 years should be enough. Two years, but nobody has time for that. And you know, Nigerians, they will argue you. So fuck it.
But you said something that is really, really important. Like if you're going to be in 2 years and when you come out, you have actual like certificate that you can.
Yeah, exactly. You might
Yes,
get a
yes.
CCNA, a
That you.
CCMP,
Hmm.
JNCIS, or something like that. You might get some technical qualification. You might get some military law, some law qualifications as well from learning military law. Either way, the military has incorporated a way of grabbing more people in by proposing them technical training in other aspects and all that stuff. Either
Then
way,
that
you have
would,
got. Yeah.
but I have a question that would require Nigeria to actually do something that is actually never done, which is actually care about its citizens. I mean, because that's basically what you're saying. You basically saying like, hey, you basically have to care about your citizens and actually value these people.
So why do you think Nigeria don't care about your citizens? Why do you think?
I mean, bro, come on, bro.
Right now,
Don't make me say it. Like,
right now, we're not discussing
No,
about caring
no,
about
no.
citizens. We're
I don't
discussing
think
about ideas.
I think
You
it's the opposite way. It's Nigerian citizens don't care about Nigeria. It's not
mm,
Nigerian don't care about your citizens. I say the opposite way. It's the
okay,
Nigerian citizens who don't care about their country.
okay,
The
bro.
country do care about them.
Okay, I'm gonna prove it to you, bro. I'm gonna prove it to you in the
Anyway, let's not get into that now. So we don't want to get out of the topic. Let's see what you shared here. More about the Prussian system of schooling. Who's this? I don't even know that. So the in the origin of modern schooling, I listed certain characteristics of the schooling that children around the world experience. Yeah, I'm gonna share it. So if I'm gonna read it later.
I mean, no,
Let
just
me.
read the first like five, but the first three, the first five,
Okay, okay.
first blind blips or whatever, man. Just read
This
first,
one.
yeah, first like read the first couple. That's all you really need to read, though. You don't really need the
Okay.
whole thing.
One. Children are required to attend. It runs from kindergarten to grade 12.
That's like
Student,
18.
yeah, students are divided by age, not by what they need or want to learn, nor by what they have been learned. The teachers are the authority. The children provide empty heads, which the teacher is paid to fill. Hmm. Okay. This is Marcos. This is a Greek philosopher's idea that people are born with empty head and the teacher need to fill them. But there's a complete opposite philosophy that is Pluto that says no, people are not born stupid. You just need someone to help you to regurgitate what you already know. But we'll keep that for another day. There's a little or no opportunity for students to explore a subject in depth, to develop a passion, to hone a skill. There's an there's an hour of one subject, then an hour for another. Teachers are considered qualified if and only if they have the required certificate. Whether they can teach well, whether they can teach well is irrelevant. What does that? What does that mean?
I mean, if they can teach well, like okay, being a teacher is the actual skill set. Like, all right, Mike Tyson is a good fighter, like, but he himself said he's not a good teacher. He couldn't really teach somebody
So,
how to do what he do. Right, most of his things is just he's naturally pretty gifted, and the person who taught him was a great teacher, which was Customato.
so,
Right,
mm,
so the
so, but
difference between that.
but what you're saying, this is something that people are trying to do. This is nothing
No,
that they're
that's
doing.
already been done. It's already been in the system. They've been doing that for years already.
So they say whether they love or hate children is irrelevant.
Last Zulu, that's already been done, but not just by the United States. Probably a lot of European and even the UK
whether
to a certain extent.
whether
You know
childhood
what I
is
mean?
a happy
The,
time.
the UK may not the UK may not have a great system, but there's many other countries that have that system, and this system has also been adapted into many countries. Last Zulu, so in a way, it's like these people just go with what works for their best and all that stuff. So don't think that Africa necessarily needs this entirely, but they might need some bits of this thing. I think the one that really works for Africa is to refine the UK system. As in, Kifaru, sometimes in the UK, people after high school they actually choose to go to the military, but it's not mandatory. That's the thing; it's not mandatory. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you said
So,
something that, yeah, that I think I've been thinking about it, because if people, can go into this service, especially in Africa, because to me, I think it's really, really fundamental that we Africans, we are patriotic to our countries. We need to
mhm,
see our countries as our properties. We need to see our country out. Do you know what? My country belongs to me. I don't like the other way around, that what has your country done for you? I always say that it's for us to ask yourself, what are you doing for your country? Maybe it will come sometime in the future where we'll start asking, oh, what have my country done for me? But if we like keep asking, what have I done for my country? Then we're going nowhere. If you look at Europe, we're like, we run to Europe and we try to live in this people's country. These kids, like these people sacrifice themselves to make their
mhm,
country the way it is. We need, like, people were crying if they were not choosing to go into the army. You
mhm.
understand? They were like patriots. And I think programs like this need to be emphasized. As you said, maybe they have to push it further, maybe 2 years,
If,
but the 2 years
if
should
I
not be.
was if I was a leader, Kifaru, I'll let them go through the schooling system that La Zulu was mentioning. But
Mhm.
when they get to a certain, I think in America it's a kind of like the 12 and 13 grade. That's what it is, La Zulu.
Yeah, 'cause by
Between those
12th grade, you're
two,
like
Yeah, 12th grade.
18.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a 12 and 13 grade or something.
12th grade, what
So
age is that? Sorry for cutting you
At
short.
12th grade,
I
you're
think,
about like 17, about to be 18.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that's where you
17
start getting
about to be
everything.
18.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly, exactly. Between those two ages, that's the right time to actually inspire people to either be nationalistic or whatever they want to do. It's the right time to indoctrinate in a youth what they want to do in life and all that stuff. So that is also the same age as college in the UK as well. So when you get to college, 17, 18, you finish high school at 16, 17, 18, that's the right time in which you get inspired where you want to go and all that stuff. So Kifaru, if I was that, I will take the whole college experience. Any other thing you're learning, it's still gonna have your. It's gonna be a military school, that you'll go to learn law, to learn that and all that stuff with a military background at the same time, because the situation asks for it. After you finish those 2 years, you can decide what you want to study in university. Has the military inspired you enough to carry on that path, or do you want to do something else? So you understand what I'm saying, Kivaru?
Yeah. I understand perfectly well. You said something that it makes sense. They can actually have skills. Because if you look, what the NYCS is doing is just, it's just like, kind of representing. It's like some kind of, I don't know, just be part of it. They don't really go through it. You understand?
Mm,
Just go and spend 3 weeks in the military camp, then they're gonna post you somewhere. They don't really feel entitled as if they are doing their country any service. I think it's like they're being forced just to do that because they need a job. But if you actually create a system where these people can go, and when they come out, they have like skills, as you said, like AWS. You can take two, like say 1 year, you can have three AWS certification, even Cisco certification. That
mm-hmm,
1 year, and to me, then after, to me, they can say one, but you can extend it for people who actually want to. You
mm-hmm.
can extend that, for 2 years even, so you can make it even a maximum of, you can say, from 1 to 3 years. But it should not be
And it
maximum
makes
than
more
3 years.
sense. It makes more sense that I'm sure companies like Cisco or AW or Amazon themselves or any other networking or storage kind of company will provide a better deal to military companies or nation states rather than just a regular private enterprise. They will provide them that because it looks good on their side. So, oh, we have relationship or partnership with the Nigerian military and all that stuff. So it
Hmm.
goes very well to speak about your
No, it
qualification.
don't. No, it don't. No, it don't.
Look at this guy. Go on. Why he does it?
Bro, if you told the the U.S. government heard, bro, that like I said that Amazon, the
Look.
private industry.
I'm sure Cisco is proud of its partnership with the CIA and all that stuff. Cisco is proud of that.
Hey, bro,
So
and the only reason you know about that shit because somebody snitched on him and he dead today. So Let me
No,
know.
because Cisco is proud of its partnership with the United States government. Cisco is proud of its partnership with many other intelligence agencies across the world. Cisco is proud of that, and it's not just Cisco. There's many other. Probably they don't even use Cisco. I tell you, these military stuff, they don't probably even use Cisco to a certain extent. There's only one company that I knew that
No, I think
uh,
yeah. When it
they
comes
use
to
Cisco.
when it comes to equipment of that security, they actually have to write their own firmware. You understand?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They
So
may hire
there's that level.
yeah
There's that level to go on,
yeah
Kifaro.
they may hire a software or developing like sometimes military they do have their own software. But the
Yeah.
thing with Cisco, if you want to communicate with other equipment, they need to be Cisco. So you can't actually completely um uh, do away with them because if military wants to hack into some equipment that is they need to have Cisco as well. You understand? So they might use it, but their security might just be different. You understand?
Yeah, I suppose the protocols and secure protocol might be different. I think Cisco, because Cisco is like all over the world and all that stuff, they
It's
have to
massive.
they have to have a level of compatibility with other devices and other vendors, Kifaru. So in a way, because I'm sure there's so many, so Cisco accounts for that. But in terms of at the security level, there's
Hmm.
definitely a different level of security or something like that. So um, I don't know, but yeah, I think what I'm trying to get at La Zulu is that for Cisco, it looks good to have these partnerships with governmental agencies as well. So they will probably offer a cheaper deal than a private enterprise would have. Do you
It
agree
does
with that?
look good for that though. It does, for like so they can always say, oh, they can always use that as quote unquote their humanitarian route, right? Because they always
Yeah,
look good.
they could always use
Always
that.
want to
They
look
could
good,
always
right?
do that. They could always use that. They could use it as a, oh, look, we partnered with the Nigerian military to provide this da 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 da. Oh, we partnered with this to provide da 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 da. We partnered with that. It just makes them look more legit and all that kind of stuff. And many corporate companies tend to like that kind of things. So in a way, Kifaru, it will be easier for somebody in Nigeria to own a Cisco and AWS from the military than it will be to go by himself in an enterprise. I'm sure Kifaru, you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah. I
So
think and again, that's gonna add more value to a program. You understand?
you understand? So it's
It
like you
makes
have to
it
find incentives to get
mm,
people on board with this. If you don't have
like
incentives, then like why the fuck should I waste 2 years of my life in Nigerian military stupid process when I
yeah.
can go and do that?
Yeah,
You
I
understand?
think I think like even like basic driving, maybe before you leave, you can have a driver's license. Even that, have some skills. You understand? I think they need to add more value to programs like this so it will encourage more young people because and it can even act as an employment scheme. You understand? Because a lot of people in
That will
Africa,
require Nigerians to care about their people though.
but who tell you Nigeria don't care about their people?
Like he laughing for a reason because we know though.
The reason I'm laughing, laugh Zulu, is because every time I come up with an idea, even yesterday, somebody always comes back to the tribalism and beats me down with it. Tribalism.
I'm not
Because
even
what
saying
it is,
tribalism. Like hell, care about the people. At least look out for hell. Do they even look out for their own tribe when they robbing money? Well, when a politician robbing the money that's supposed to go to a building that's supposed to help everybody, it don't matter what tribe he come from. He's still taking the money.
yeah,
Is he not?
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
is that is
That's
that the
another
problem
situation.
of the government or the problem of the people?
It's a problem of both, and to the degree, it's a problem. It's really a problem of the people. It's a really
Exactly.
a problem of the people
Exactly.
because if I can
Exactly.
pin you against me, if I can pin somebody against you so easily,
Exactly. Because see, it boils down to these people not seeing themselves as a nation. So that's why program like this, they need to enforce it and make it really mandatory and take it serious. Because if you look at the program objective, it's just to help to solve issues from what you're saying. You understand? Exactly. So things like this that are there, but they need to make it work perfectly. There's no country that there's no country that's perfect. people complain, even in the most advanced country, there must
I
be
think
some bloggers.
what last Zulu is addressing is that the problem of leadership that has always been in Africa, or having the right leadership or correct leadership that actually cares about its people, and that's a completely whole different topic as well. It's not that it's a relevant topic, last Zulu, I tell you, right? But in just for this conversation alone, we're trying to pretend as if the leadership is already there, but we already know the leadership is fucked up. Last Zulu. You understand what I mean? We're
Okay.
pretending. Yeah, we're pretending in case the leadership is right, what's the right moves to do? But we already know why the fuck is working. Because in Africa, it's like every man for himself. Don't you think so, Latula? It's like every man for himself. I know that.
And
this
that,
is
and that is a really, really wrong mentality.
You can't you can't get from stage 1 to stage 2 if everybody if you fighting me over a hand bone. Me and you can't work together to go get this woolly mammoth out here, right? Because you still fighting me over this hand bone.
Yeah, but
So
a hand bone. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's true. Because what it is a hand bone and all that stuff. You see, Africa is just in a state of chaos. Like Kifaru, I always tell this to people. Like the reason why Africans don't believe in this, we believe more in our tribes. You understand, Kifaru? If my tribe was getting persecuted in Gambia, Kifaru, even I, as an engineer over here in the UK, I'll probably get up and go to Gambia or Guinea-Bissau and start shooting for my tribe. I will kill for my tribe. You know what I mean, Kifaru? And a lot of us would. You know what I mean? But for our nation, are we willing to kill for our nation?
That is the thing. That's the thing. And to me, programs like these are a mandatory. I think maybe before you finish school, you must be like in.
So it's a case. How do you inspire? How do you inspire nationhood as well? Because people are already willing. Like I said, I think I'm thinking. Yeah.
Sometimes, I got a question.
Let me just say this. Sometimes maybe you need to force things. Sometimes you don't need to ask people's opinion. You understand? It may sound cruel, but sometimes you just need to say, "This is what we have to do." And if you're against it, you're against the state.
No, Malgus, I got a question to ask you, right? My question is, would you fight with me if you knew I would shoot you in the back, or you just said, "Oh, I wouldn't hold the line"? Would you fight with me?
Would I fight with you if I knew you were gonna shoot me in the back as well?
I'm not gonna say shoot you in the back because that's too fucked up. I just won't hold the line. So like basically, you tell me go over there necessarily, right, to hold the ridge or hold the hill. As soon as the first gunshot gets shot, I'm gonna run. I can't hold the line.
Would I fight with you if you can't hold the line or something? I think what you're alluding to is like people that might run away because they don't believe in the fight. They don't believe in the fight and all that kind of stuff. Would I fight with you then? Of course, you don't want to be in a war or a fight or a war with somebody who's just gonna run away from the first minute and all that kind of stuff. You don't want those kind of allies. Come on.
But what I'm saying is like you can't rely on it. Like you can't until the people can start relying on the government to actually do something. You can't. It won't form. Basically, like it's stopping your group development. You know what I mean? Because you can't necessarily let go of the tribalism because you understand. Like for a fact your friend over here is gonna look out for you, right? That's your cousin. That's your auntie. That's your whatever your tribe mate gonna look out for you, right? That's basically family. In a sense, it is family, right? So in that sense, right? You can't let that go necessarily to go to let's say a quote unquote higher tier, right? But the only way you can go into that higher tier list, you necessarily can have something else to depend on or something else to grab onto, right? Which is the state, right? You can't go to that necessarily that higher form of let's say a mindset or thought process, right? Until you can actually not rely on necessarily, this is much. I can rely on the state to actually handle things
to 1 year
like,
from then.
Okay.
The announcement comes amid increasing tensions between Beijing and the self-governing island. President Tsai Ing-wen said that conscripts would undergo more intense training to combat any military aggression.
You know what I mean? You can't do that. Like, you can just call the police on somebody and just pay them some money and you can just,
But
you know,
there's no festive
between Taiwan and China. Why I'm so I think Thailand
heightened tensions between Beijing.
Taiwan has announced that compulsory military service will be increased from 4 months to 1 year for men. The announcement comes amid increasing tensions between Beijing and the self-governing island. President Tsai Ing-wen said that conscripts would undergo more intense training to combat any military aggression from China.
It might be Christmas, but there's no festive hiatus in the standoff between Taiwan and China. Following heightened tensions between Beijing and the self-governing territory, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen announced that compulsory military service for men will be extended from 4 months to a year. She told the country the change was necessary to ensure Taiwan's survival.
I have to admit that this is an incredibly difficult decision. But as president,
But she
as
said
the
the state of
commander-in-chief,
Taiwan, though,
protecting the national
they have a
security and
national
ensuring national
mindset.
interest, allowing Taiwan to survive eternally and that the people can live a free and democratic life for generations to come is an unavoidable responsibility of mine as the president.
This footage released by Beijing shows China's People's Liberation Army conducting military drills around Taiwan on Christmas Day. Taipei said 71 Air Force jets entered the island's airspace in 24 hours, the largest incursion to date. It follows a year of heightened tensions after US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan in August. A move seen as provocative by Beijing, which considers Taiwan a breakaway province. All men over 18 will now have to complete a year of service, including 8 weeks of basic training, with pay for conscripts also increasing fourfold in what Taipei sees as necessary moves to keep Beijing at bay.
Yeah, you see, that. So sometimes they just have to implement. You don't have to ask people what to do. Yeah, thank you, man.
But they already have but I'm saying they already have a nationalistic mindset already. Like those people have a nationalistic mindset already.
All right, yeah. Let's welcome Nigerian superstar. Yeah, I've been waiting for you. We're talking about Nigerian youth military corps.
Yes, I know.
Nigeria. So yeah,
I want to talk about. Yes, for the issue of tribalism, like we don't practice that thing in our everyday life. It's not something we practice.
Of course, I know. Yeah.
Most times, it's normally used by the politicians. They use it during the election. They use religion. They use tribalism, all to get whatever they want. You understand me? Like me, I have friends in almost all the tribe in Nigeria. Igbo friend, Yoruba, Hausa, other minority tribe. I have them as friends.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Some we do business together. So the issue of tribalism really is just okay. Like in this election, yes, a lot of the politicians they use it. Even in America, they do use it also.
Yeah, let's forget about America. Let's just talk about Africa.
Yes,
we have
even in developed countries. That's why sometimes they use the word, they use language like "with the people" and all those kind of stuff. You understand me? So it's normal. It's normal for every people. They use it.
So yeah, okay. So I'm going to ask you: Did you serve in the National Youth Service Corps?
No, I didn't.
Whoa.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I only went to secondary and primary school and secondary school. I didn't went to the university. Yes,
okay.
I'm not. Yes, I'm not a graduate yet.
Okay. So okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So do you think this is good? So do you think people like you should be given the opportunity to serve as well?
No. I don't think so. No.
Why? Why not?
I think with the current, I think I agree with the current structure. It should be university graduates.
Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, if you just take university graduate, so I don't know about education in Nigeria. Are there more people educated or less people educated when it comes to the national census or things like that? Do you think more
No, there,
Nigerian youths are educated, or the average is more or is less?
yeah, I think currently this generation, yes, but the previous generation, yeah, there were a lot of people who didn't go to school at all. However,
Nigeria,
however,
Nigeria,
both of my
you
parents, they went to what they call standard six back then.
Mhm.
Yes, they went to standard six. Yeah, what they call standard six. So both
Yeah,
of
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
are
That's
a
the
yeah,
super fan.
old
In,
British
in,
system.
yes, old
you are
British
you are
system. Yeah,
super fan. Which industry do you work in at the moment?
currently,
Yeah. Which
yes,
industry are you in?
I have a business.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. A
Yeah.
business. Okay. Okay. So you had to come up with ideas and all stuff. Okay. What if you say the military conscription for 2 years within your life between your adolescence or something? Let's say not your adolescence, between 17 to 18 or something. What if you say the military was to give you the foundation for that as well? Do you think that would have been a benefit to have accelerated you to where you are today if they were
Mm,
to give you the foundation?
okay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe would have.
So
Yeah.
do you think instead of leaving people hanging, like telling them, oh, you need to serve the military for this amount of years, and then you come out with no skills? Do you think that's useless? Don't you think it will be good for the military to include that as part of it? Say, include, oh, you can study in IT,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
study in
Okay.
business,
Oh,
you can study in all of that. Yeah. Or
okay.
you can choose to go all the way throughout the military. Don't you think that would have encouraged a lot more people to go through that route rather than having to borrow so much money to pay for certifications and university?
But there is listen. There is National Youth Service. There is
Mm,
Defense Academy in Nigeria. Those one you
mm.
can like when your kids in maybe 10 years old, you can enroll them in that Defense Academy. Then they teach
But
them. They go up there.
ten,
You
10
understand me?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
10.
that's true. But you see why Taiwan did that. Kifaru, countries tend to do this when they're in a state of emergency. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, Taiwan was in a state of emergency with China. Like
We have a
China
lot
was,
of them in the north. I think we have 2 or 3 defense academy in the north, the northern
Well,
side
you
of
go
Nigeria.
to a defense academy when you are 10 years old, or it's just a military school for.
that goes to
They
speak to
have the
that
same
southern
thing in the U.S.
Nigerian.
It's called ROTC. Well, you can
Yeah,
if you want to start
military school.
enrolling
Yeah,
in the military, you can.
Okay, 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 okay. But that is
Yeah.
just
I
the
know,
military.
but we're trying to make it like mandatory so that for those who may have not even thought of that, like Nigerian Prince here or now UFC superfan, I bet he never thought of joining the military. Now, if they had forced him to go through that, maybe it could have inspired him to go and pursue some career in the military, or he could
Probably
have came out and still said, I still want to do business." Either way, you've created a space to reach him, but he was never reached, so he found his own way in life. You understand?
yeah.
You paved
Uh,
his way.
so UFC super fan. So do you have criticism about this service, or do you think you have a way that you think they could make it better, or
I, I think it is just a way for the government to integrate everyone. You understand me? So you won't say you don't know about the other tribes. So it's just a way to integrate people.
Mm.
so is it working?
Yes, it does because like there are a lot of Nigerians like me. I'm not going to lie. I've never visited the southeast before. I have no idea how that place is.
They will
Never in my
sacrifice.
life. I've not
They will
been
sacrifice.
to the
You
southeast.
get sacrificed for ritual money.
You know,
I'm
so I've
joking.
never
I'm joking.
been
I'm
to.
joking.
Then in the north, I've been to Abuja only. That is the federal capital. Never been to other part of the north.
Okay.
So we did it, so that's the importance of this youth service. There are, because when you go into this, they post you into different states, so you at least you're able to meet the local there and understand the people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it does help in a way.
yeah. I think to me, I don't see any criticisms. Things like this. I think I really like it that Nigeria made it compulsory that you need a certificate for you to get a job. Uh,
Hmm.
you understand? And I think to me, people like you should not be exempted. You understand? To me, I don't
Yeah.
think, like,
Yeah, they should. I get you are right. They should allow secondary school graduates
yeah. Or
to
maybe
go.
if you did not go to school at a certain age, you know, they should make it compulsory. Even people have business, maybe
The,
6 months, something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't think the Kifaro, that's just people who have business are too worried about making their business fly. Forcing them into the
the
military
thing is
is
that
causing a problem.
when it
Mm.
comes
You're causing
to
a problem. The best
when it
time to
comes
catch
to
the Kifaro is between 17 and 18. After that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't catch
of
them
course, of
anymore.
course. No, yeah, I'm not saying you take people already like mature people now. I mean, like people who did not go to school when they reach that 17, 18 age, they need to go into this thing. That's what I mean.
yes, but the thing is that when it comes to military in Nigeria, I think the northern part of Nigeria, the people like they are the one who mostly grab this opportunity. We from the south, we don't.
Hmm.
That's why when you look at the system, they dominate the system because when they see when there's time for enrollment, they enroll.
Wow.
But other
It's
tribe will
interesting.
overlook this, we
So isn't
overlook this
that too?
thing.
So why is that the case, Nigerian UFC super? Why is it that Northern Nigerians feel more like the military is more pertinent rather than joining any other thing? Why? Why is that the case?
But
Because
come on, bro. Even saying that's how it came out funny.
because first I think the northern are most of them they don't
Why
travel
do
out.
you think they're mobilizing to fucking kill the shit out of you guys, bro? These people are not
Exactly,
fucking
bro.
joking. You know
Boy,
that
stay with the
it's like the
strap.
Somalis. Why did the Somalis think the military is more important and we fucking docile Bantus are out there? Oh, I gotta fucking gain my yes, we gain money, but at the end of the day, you have these fucking crazy people come and just keep killing you. You have your business running terrorist bomb, boom. Why we don't fucking prioritize security? You understand?
Yeah, we
These
don't.
people have security at the top of their priority.
But
It's funny, man. It's funny. We Bantus, we keep falling for that. Kifar, I'm sorry, bro. Tonight you said it many times. It's funny how docile we are. Yes, it's not a docile. I think it's that sense of individuality, right? It's that sense of I gotta gain for
Dad,
myself. I
you know,
gotta
Dad,
you know
gain
what?
for
No,
myself.
actually, you know what it is. You know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. It's a fact that actually Africans really never had nobody put their foot in their ass. Like especially in West Africa. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah, these words,
Nobody
bro.
really.
Hey,
Let's
we
be
from
honest.
the colonialism. We've had it. We've had it.
Nobody. No.
yeah,
But,
please,
uh,
Wiz, we don't. I don't want to
Kifaru,
get into
Kifaru,
some kind of an
Kifaru.
argument that
One
relevant.
thing I
People
also
kicking
observe
their
is
ass.
that while growing up,
Mhm.
the news we heard about the military is just something you as a kid you won't want to involve yourself in that area
Mhm.
because all the news were very, very negative.
Mm.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Ah,
The
okay,
news
okay.
about
But
the
yeah, yeah, but yes, but having said that these people fight, but they're not better. If they had more military and they were the best, they'll be better. But looking at the statistics, they are still
Kifaru,
not the better
Kifaru,
part
if you just hear
anywhere.
if you just hear what you UFC performance is that most of the people that join the Nigerian military or most of the people that conscript in this are northern Nigerians or something like that. Of
Mhm.
course, you will find these people will not fight with their terrorist cousins in the north or something like that. They will not be fighting on entirely with their heart content. They will be running away and giving them free pass. You
But
understand?
but yeah,
no,
but
no, no,
Northern
but
Nigerians,
but
no. I'm not. They
looking at the
do.
statistics,
They
those in the north die more from
thank
terrorism.
you very much. They do fight them because they die more. Yeah, they kill their own
Yeah,
people more.
they're the ones that dying. They may come down and kill one people, but they're killing hundred of their own people each day.
Yeah,
It's not.
they
Yeah,
don't see. Let me say
why can't you, UFC super, why can't you join the military?
no, no,
Look,
no, no,
this
no.
is Kivaru, I'm sorry. I know my brothers when I know them. Yeah, I might be a Gambian and all that stuff, but
mhm.
I know the
No,
difference
I think
between different
I
types
have
of
passed
Gambia.
the age of joining the
This is
military.
my people. This UFC super fan is my people, and we are individualistic, and we don't give a fuck, and we care about ourselves too much. You understand me?
You're
Yeah.
right.
There's some
My
element of
man is
that.
out for his
That's true.
benefit.
There's some
You know,
element
I
of
know
that.
my people. Kifaru, I may not be Bantu and all that stuff, but I know some Bantu behavior when I see it, even amongst my people in Senegambia.
But
You know that?
but when it comes to security in Nigeria, sometimes like it's almost like a family kind of business. When your dad is a police officer, one or two of his kids must be police officer. When they are into military, the same thing. So it's mostly like that in Nigeria. So because I
So it's
didn't
a
have
cycle. The issue, yeah, that's another issue.
any member of my family, a police officer or military officer. So I
That's
didn't
another
have
issue that has
something
not
like
run
that.
away. Yeah, you're right. That's another issue that has not gone away, Kifaru, in the sense that many Africans grow up thinking this is the business that my dad did, so to survive. So this is what my dad taught me. So they don't know anything else but to do what their dad continued. So if their dad
Thank you
was a
very
slave
much.
trader, if their father was a slave trader, Kifaru, the kid only knows about slave trade as a means to survive, as a means of
That's true.
subsistence. So he repeats the same cycle and all that kind of stuff. So they
Exactly.
don't think, oh, to try different ways to do. So my man saying, if your dad was, or uncle was a military guy, you want to have somebody in the military at the same time. You want to join, follow the same footsteps. There's no diversity of things. They're going.
Okay, you see, like, I don't really think these people are like those are. You know, when it comes to their interests, they're gonna fight. You see these Niger Delta guys. These guys are ruthless. You understand?
Yeah,
These
that's true.
people, they are like really powerful. They will shoot anything that comes around
Yeah,
them.
they are
You
mostly
understand?
the
These are people of
South
the
people.
south. If those people in the north come down to those people, the ones in the south will wipe them out. I just think we're comparing two different kind of things. You understand? These people, they don't feel that threat. The ones in the south, they just want to do their business. But if they have that threat, you understand? They will change. I don't think they will just sit and allow people like just kill
Man,
them.
it has been happening for too long, man. Since the Muslims have been killing the Christians in Nigeria, bro. It has been happening for too long,
No, no,
and the
no, no,
Christians
no.
have been
Listen, listen.
dilly dallying for years.
You know,
Bro. You guys have
okay,
been dilly dallying for
bro,
years,
bro.
man. You have not
I'm a
mobilized.
Christian. And listen, let's be fair. You see, I'm a Christian. This thing happened both ways. You understand me? The Christian they do kill some Muslim. Also, the Muslim they do the same thing. So it's not one. This whole thing is not one way street.
Okay.
But the media make it like that. That it is just the Muslim killing the Christian. No. The thing is
Okay.
that the Northerners they don't have the media backing, but they do kill their people too.
Yeah. I don't know about Nigeria, but like the dynamic, I think when yeah, there is some element of this Islamic fanaticism. You know, it's a problem not only in Nigeria. You know, the problem of Islamic fanaticism is a problem worldwide. But the thing in Cameroon, you know, I like the way Cameroon is structured. The state is in charge. The state is bigger than every religion, every tribe, every chief, everything. And so because of that,
Quick question, Kifaru. Quick
eh,
question. Do the Fulanis in the north participate in the state military?
yes, they do.
Do they participate, and to what extent or average do they participate in the military? What are they, 90%, 80, 85%? Where are they in the Cameroonian military, the Fulanis in the north?
I don't really know, but the Cameroon military is
Out
made.
of 100, how much are they
Yeah, that's
in
an
the
important question.
military?
You need to know that. You
Okay.
need to know that.
Kifaru,
Okay. First, yeah, again, the Fulani's population in Cameroon is not big; it's small.
thank you very. That's what I wanted to say
Yeah,
here.
so they
The
can't really
Fulani
even
in the
all of
north,
They can't
with
make
the military.
significance, yeah.
It's not going to make any
Kifaru,
They won't
Kifaru,
make significance. Okay,
Kifaru,
cool.
Kifaru.
So you
Did
don't
you
have the
know that
same
in the
problem as
north,
Nigeria.
the
No, we
Fulani are
don't.
the?
We don't
Did you
have
know the
that.
Fulani are the minority in the north? The Hausas, they are the majority. But
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay,
all
like
you
in
hear,
Cameroon, yeah, sorry for cutting you short. The Hausa, they have this group of Hausa, we call them Tupuri. They're really tall and dark. They
yeah.
are many of them are in the like the infantry military because they are not
Thank
educated.
you. Same
But the
thing in
most
Nigeria. Yeah.
educated, yeah, but the most educated military are the Bulu people, are the Bantu, that they call them bees. They're the most educated elite ones. They have like more the sophisticated weapons. The ones that people have been to university, chemists went to the military. So
Yeah.
that group of military is the elite. They're the most educated people, you know. But the ones, the Tupuri, like the ones in the north, the Fula, they are like that infantry really low level, so they don't really have some.
In Nigeria, the Fulani in the north, they are the minority, not the majority. The Hausa people are the Hausa and the Kanuri. They are the majority.
Who make up most of the Nigerian military? Which people, which ethnic group make up most of the Nigerian military?
I think all ethnic group have because the current chief of defense staff is from Delta State, from South
Okay.
South. Yeah, the minister of yes, I think defense staff. Yeah, is from Delta State. Something Rabo General
I
Rabo.
keep hearing a couple of years ago that most of the major elites or the major generals in Nigeria military are from the north or something like that. Make up either House or Fulani or something. Kept hearing that.
Okay, let me tell you, the army, yes, majority of the leaders are from the north. Why the Navy?
So they got a monopoly then. So they have a
Majority
monopoly on military.
hold on. Majority of the Navy leaders, top leaders, are from South South. Then the Air Force are from the Middle Belt, which is the Benue, the Plateau. The there's balance. There's not just it's not lopsided.
Not
There's
lopsided.
balance of power.
Yeah, I think the difference with Cameroon military, that's it with Nigerian military. Cameroon military, they're like more educated. You understand that we don't have so much. It's like it's a school. They take it really really serious.
No, the top leaders are very educated in the Nigerian army. They are like the current leader. Very like when he speak, it's not push and
Of course, for you to be a general, you need to be someone that is educated. You can't start from zero and become a general in army. You're gonna die before you reach that age. So if anyone is a general, they have been to school. At least they have a college degree, minimum. Yeah, so of course they're educated. Yeah, I don't know the dynamic in Nigeria, but in Cameroon, it's like everything is really really centralized. The state has got power. Paul Biya is bigger than everyone. So because of that,
in Nigeria, if you don't share, see, I promise you, if you don't share the power, if you don't balance the power, there will be problem, massive problem.
Big problem.
Because the tribes are too. They don't
like in Cameroon, of course, like the Bulu, Paul Biya's tribe, they're small. You understand? They are really, really minority, but for some reason they control power. And I say, how is that possible? They are like small people, but that clan, the Wundo clan, they might be big, but Bulu tribe, there are not many people at all.
But other tribe needs other tribe needs to come together and find a way to
No, but the thing
take
is,
over power
They have a monopoly. That's what I'm saying. They have a monopoly on something. Control it.
Yeah, but I say like that. There is no really ethnic problem in Cameroon. There's no, because the tribes are not that big enough for you to fight. For you to fight another tribe, you need some other people to be part of you.
Yes, you need another bigger tribe. Yeah.
Yeah, you alone in Cameroon, you cannot do it. You will need to.
Well, the reason why it is balanced in Nigeria is that you have three major bigger tribes. So
exactly.
If you don't balance the power, they fight and cause problems. So they're
But
always.
in Cameroon, like we have what they call the regional something that is due to percentage that they give some, I don't know, positions and military thing. They try to make the country balance. You understand? So
Yeah.
But there's always favoritism and nepotism, tribalism.
Okay, like in Nigeria, like in the South, they produce a lot of lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You see, yeah, we produce a lot of lawyers.
Yeah, Dad, do you have some main tribes in Gambia? You have the Soninke. Do you have like big tribes in Gambia?
The Soninke are part of the Mandinka. The Soninke is like a cousins to the Mandinka. You have the Soninke, you have the Wolof, you have the Seres. The Seres are not that many and all that stuff, but they're still quite significant. They have the relation. They have relations. And then you have Jula, you have Serahule, you have a whole bunch of different other tiny tribes. But there's quite a distinct between what you can see northern tribes, and southern tribes that come from Gambia and Casamance and Guinea-Bissau and all that stuff.
Please, sorry to cut you short. Are you guys related to the South Sudanese?
That's what people say genetically we're related, but I don't fucking know about that because I look at us as different. But some people say we're related to them.
Gambians are just Senegalese, bro. You
Because
guys,
I'm not gonna lie, because when I see the South Sudan Gambian, they all look like the same. I don't.
Gambians are just Senegalese. I
UFC
don't know
super
why.
fan. UFC super fan. According to genetics from this Dr. Kezo stream and everything, we are related to them. As for me, I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. I don't.
I mean, they got the same kind of build though, too. Though y'all favor each other a little bit.
We have the same type of at least skin texture, or we're very dark, but
It's the
we
same
have
build.
more reddish.
Same build.
We have more
Very
reddish
dark
skin.
and very dark and tall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
we have
look,
a more reddish undertone.
look
So-
at that thing. How is even Gambia connected? Look, you're Senegal,
Sudan.
man.
Yeah, Sudan, Gambia, and Senegal. It's the same country, the same people, and Guinea-Bissau.
But
Yeah,
Sudan
right.
is,
Gambia and Senegal, they are the same people.
look, Sudan is right at this end. How do you mix with them, bro? Look,
Trade
Sudan.
routes.
I'm talking about South Sudan.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Sudan.
that's like this is Sudan.
Kifaru, what it is? Kifaru, what it is?
You have to remember
Kifaru.
before South Sudan became South Sudan, it was just Sudan, right? At that point in time, that's just like something that recently happened.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. Let's say all Sudan, but look at the distance from this side to right
To the west,
to this
all the
side.
way to the west.
Yeah, that's my argument. This is like the
Kifaru.
west of Africa, and that is.
But you got to remember, you had trade routes, bro. You thought, I don't know if you thought them with
Wait,
the
are you not taking this distance into consideration, bro?
Kifaru, it's not the distance I take into consideration. It's actually the atmosphere or climate that I take into consideration. You can see it's semi-arid. You know what I mean? It's like deserty and all that stuff. So this place receives the most sun more than ever. So these people who are exposed to the sun will be far more darker than the people in the inland Bantu areas or Ivory Coast or Ghana or Nigeria. You understand? So because we receive more sun
That
than
means
ever.
South Sudan, they are more closer to Central African Republic and Congo.
Yeah. Look.
Exactly. So
and
we
Uganda.
People think we look the same.
They share border
But
with Uganda.
You will notice this, like even Mo said it. Senegalese look like Sudanese tribes that are kind of like built up. No, it's not because we're related. It's because we're in the same area, so we may have the same complexion, but we're not the same genetics.
Region. Yeah.
Wait,
but Kifaru, the geneticists in these channels say that we are related. So I cannot argue against genetics and all that. But I will say I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't believe that. We're not related to the Sudanese. Fuck that shit, bro.
I mean, it can because. Or you gotta remember, you used to have trade routes that used to go a long time ago that used to come from Egypt,
but
come
look
down
at the distance
and go over.
Exactly.
Lazulu, the trade routes go from Senegal to Mauritania to Mali to Algeria and all that stuff.
If someone
not
has
necessarily Sudan.
Yeah, if
it's
someone has
the northern bit
from South Sudan to the Gambia, well, let's say decide they go up to the desert side, they need to go through Chad, through Niger, to Mali, to Burkina Faso. Come on, let's say they have to come to Central African Republic, Cameroon, bro. Come on.
Yeah, because you have to be careful with this one, because if you read what Lazulu said, because it could be like, oh, they got slaves from the Gambia and took them all the way to Sudan to sell them in Saudi Arabia. I know you didn't say that, but we have to be careful. I know you didn't say that. So the slaves they took from East Africa came from Sudan, Tanzania, and all that stuff. Well, there's no West African slaves in Arabia. Maybe you might find some in North Africa, but not necessarily Arabia.
Kifa, when you check the map of Equatorial Guinea, when you check the capital city, it's very, very close to Douala. I think
Equatorial Guinea is Cameroon. This is Malabo. These people
here. This is Malabo, yes.
Fang people are the same people in the Bulu. They speak the same language. It's just that because this one now speaks Spanish and the ones in Cameroon speak French, they won't do. Fang is just okay. Like Fang people are Equatorial Guinea.
Hold on. Wait. No. Please expand the map. I want to show you something. It's like the piece of Malabo was cut off from this place.
Yeah, Malabo is the capital.
Was split from here.
Yeah, Malabo is the capital of Equatorial Guinea. It's an island.
Lazulu, how easy
Yeah.
would that be for you to take over that country? Look, the capital city is in an island, bro.
Yeah,
Imagine
Yes.
that, Lazulu.
Let me say it again. Say it again.
Lazulu,
Okay, I clicked off.
they used to call it Biko Island. You know, when these people do their genetic
Lazulu.
testing, they
Look, the
come from
capital city is off
they come from
in another
Biko
island.
Island.
How
And it's
easy is it for you to take over the main country?
I don't even know, bro. I wouldn't even know how you even manage that, man.
yeah. It's just like the Spanish people living there. It's an island, beautiful island.
That's probably exactly who set it up, man. That's probably who set it up. The fucking Spanish.
Yeah, they did it. They did it.
How can you have a capital city in an offshoot island?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the
It's
main
very,
country
it's
is
very
there.
strange.
yeah. That's the part. So this time is all these people that are fan people, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea. Just see Cameroon. So this is actually Cameroon. You understand? There's no way Malabo is not Cameroon. It's Equatorial. I think the distance from Equatorial Guinea itself to that island is bigger than from Limbe
Okay.
to that.
Hey,
Kifaru,
Malgus, can you check that
Kifaru,
in the back chat? Can you check that
Kifaru,
that link out
I
that
can
I
hear
sent you?
Kifaru. Are there people from people in Cameroon speaking languages from Calabar? Because Calabar is very close to Cameroon.
Yes. This I'll show you exactly. I'll share your thing, Super Zulu. Like my area, okay, they call these people Manfe people. They have even the same name. They have the name Obi, you know, this cross river. They like there's some town here they call it I forgot the town. A cock. They use both Naira and CFA. And these people
Oh,
Kifaru, can't you have 1 foot in Nigeria, 1 foot in Cameroon? Can't you do
yeah,
that?
yeah. These Calabar people, they even look the same. They have
yeah,
this.
Calabar people, yeah.
If I show you someone from the Bayangi, how they dance, how they dress, you will tell me it's Calabar. You will argue to me that's Calabar people. They are not. They're just like the border people are just the same. But when you start coming inland, it kind of start getting a little bit of different, you know. But around this area, they are almost the same, even the way they speak. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
they
that
speak. Yeah, they speak funny.
yeah. So let's
Cameroon used to be part of West Africa.
huh?
Cameroon used to be part of West Africa.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is the English part, speaking part of it.
If online you go online, you talk about Cameroon, you will see sometimes they refer to it as West Africa, sometimes they refer to it as Central Africa. It's just confusing, but it's just because Cameroon is found in the Central African economic region, CEMAC.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
why they say it's Central Africa. Because actually, there's no Central Africa. Central Africa to me is just
What
maybe
about Kifaru?
maybe Congo and Central African Republic. Because now Sudan said that it's African. I don't understand. So what's even Central Africa again? There's not actually Central Africa. Congo wants to be East Africa.
Kifaru, what about the Idoma? Are there people in Cameroon speaking Idoma language?
They must be, bro. That country have
Yeah,
got all
because
kind of languages.
that is
So
people of Benue State. Because they share border with Cameroon also.
imagine in the north, the people speak Tamale. They only speak Tamale in India.
Wow.
All right, so
In
I'm
the
gonna
north
do.
in the north of Cameroon, they speak Tamale. I don't know where that came from, but so
Alright.
what's this? I think is that the trade route you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about trade routes. So if I'm saying that's what I was thinking, because I'm seeing like when I was just going through, just looking through old maps and whatever, I just kind of just do that. So when I was going through maps, I looked at this one, I was like,
Lazulu, you remember those dark Kushites in ancient Egyptian paintings or Egyptian sculptures? Those dark people are the Sudanese people. You understand what I mean?
yeah,
Those are those dark people. The Senegambians created the Mali Empire. We focus in Mali. Now you see those trade routes are trading during when the Ottoman Empire was stronger and all that stuff. But we were never directly slaves to the Arabian Indian Peninsula.
no,
West
I
African
understand that. I understand that. Well, what I'm saying, those are trade routes, but they may be trading other stuff though. Like I mean,
they're
I know
trading
what it's
other stuff.
saying, but I'm saying they was trading other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just caution people to actually include West Africans in the trade of the island. Because it's not good to have two slave trades. The white people trade you, and now fucking Arabs trade.
Nah, East side got their own trade, bro. East side got their own side, bro.
if you look like for slave trade was really easy in this part because it was a desert. It was easier for people to walk on camels. You know, they were like clear. You could see from far. But in the central and west, it was a jungle. So that's why it came like really late. At this time, the Arabs could come and penetrate because of the desert. They could just get in their comments and walk, but they couldn't do that in the central and west of Africa, mostly Central Africa. That's why Islam is not really a thing in the Central Africa.
Kifaru,
That's what I'm saying.
there are tribes in that region of Africa that didn't turn to Islam. You understand what I mean? So maybe these tribes, maybe due to the relation with Igbos of Nigeria and their sense of individualism, they don't want to fucking bow down to any other god. They don't want to bow down or prostrate to any
We
other
said
god
that
and all
shit
that kind of stuff.
personally, boy.
No. Listen.
Well, that was personal, boy. Nah, that was
Like you have
personal.
to look what kind of individuals do these religions produce, right? What kind of individuals do they produce, or what kind of groups do they produce as well? So in a way, it's like the religion emphasizes one thing, which is submission. Islam submit to Allah, submit, which means bow down, prostrate. The way they pray is all that kind of stuff. So you will
Exactly.
find tribes in that region that look at us and say, who are these people bowing down to? You will never find myself bowing my ass down to anybody else and all that stuff.
Still, the thing like in Nigeria, people don't fear even the Christianity or the Muslim, but they fear the tradition. They fear the traditional religion. For instance, the king in my state,
Do you think you will find Igbos bowing down to some Muhammad or
but
something?
listen, you know what happened in my
Igbos bow
state?
down to anybody. Igbos don't bow down to anybody.
No, you are right.
And, and, and that's a problem, you understand? Because even they don't even respect their own chiefs. Igbo, if
Listen,
you have money,
I'm telling
you
you.
become
no,
chief.
no,
When you find
like my state, we do respect the traditional ruler, the king. The king is very powerful. When he
but they
makes
don't
any
bow down to him.
decision,
But it's not like a king. The king had power that supersedes anybody else. The king had power for jurisdiction, and that power changes all the time. Correct?
yeah. But no,
So
like
I know this
okay,
because I
for
saw this.
instance,
You are not
like
Igbo.
can you understand? Can you hear me? Like in my state, there were cases of human trafficking of girls. So the Oba now lay a curse on people doing not. Did you know that a lot of these people engaging in such business decided to forget about it? They stopped doing it because they fear the traditional ruler, the Oba of Benin, because it's one of the most feared Oba in Benin. Ask any of that tribe, they will tell you it's
Yeah.
very respected
Yeah.
because
So what I'm saying, Kifaru, is if you accept the religion, it produces a different type of individual because you have to. Because when you look at it, the slave market was developed from that same religion and all that kind of stuff. The begging market that you were talking about the other day, I wanted to jump in on that one. The begging, you even recognize who are the people begging most of the time? Who are
Yeah,
the people still continuing the culture of slavery even after it ended or even begun it? Why? Because the religion, if you look at the ethos emphasizes serfdom, slavery, submission, and all the submission to Allah and all that kind of stuff, obeying rules and all that kind of stuff. So, in fact, even the way they pray is a kind of bow your head down and your foot down all the way to the ground. So, for tribes that see that, they say, why are we bowing down to anybody? You understand? But these Arabs are telling us to bow down to something. You understand? So, these tribes will be like, fuck that. No, we're not going to do that. So, you will find Igbos will reject that. Some Yorubas will reject that. And some tribes in fucking Senegambia will reject bowing down to some Muhammad. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
There's no hate. There's no hate. There's no hate. There's discipline. And we don't even bow down. I think one religion, what religion emphasizes something more than the other. But all religions are meant to control. They're all a means of control. I'm telling you. But one speaks on more of submission. It's in the word. So, it's in the word itself, Islam, and all that kind of stuff, which
I
means
mean,
submit.
I think
And all
Islam, they both do the same. Like you said, they both do the same thing. They just go about it different ways. Like Islam is by like submission, complete submission, right? And I guess
Yeah.
like Christianity is by forgiveness, right? So, oh, you did something bad. Oh, we're going to forgive that, right? Oh, you
Yeah,
know, you
that's
did something. This. You should. We should go ahead and let that go, right? You can
wow.
kind of see how
That's true,
that could
Lazulu.
be a
That's
problem
true.
later on.
That's true, Lazulu. That is fucking interesting. There is about forgiveness and about looking for guidance as well. But I suppose Islam is like that. Yes, Maybe that's why Black Americans and many Africans are kind of docile because they forgive the
yeah,
enemy.
exactly. Oh, that's
They
exactly.
forgive the enemy, and then Black Muslims are docile because they submit to the Arab God.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. Hey, think about it. When you talk to what was it? A black, he's like American or whatever, right? When they say turn the other cheek, hey, somebody slap you, turn the other cheek or some shit like that. Nah, but then you remember though, right? Like Malcolm X or whatever, like he was a Muslim, and like he was like, oh fuck that, you smack me, I'm cutting your hand off.
Okay, okay, this is the thing I want to say. I think we as Black people, we have some weakness that it is inside us that we need to accept, and we know how to counteract it. You understand? Because I've seen it. Maybe it's just the nature of how these people were created. Because I always take I always like to use dogs. You understand? To explain this analogy. If you take something like let's say a bulldog, okay, a bulldog in its nature is aggressive. You understand? Then you take something like a border collie. A border collie is by its nature is just a calm dog. Even if you keep the border collie without training it, it's going to be like that. The bulldog is actually going to have some aggressive tendency. But if we know that we are this like calm people and we're respecting, we're like, I don't know, want to be respected or docile as people want to call it, we should know that, okay, some other people are not like that and we should know how to walk around it. But if we think we can be like those people, it is impossible. You understand what I'm trying to say? If we think we can just be like, okay, let's take guns and go kill these other white people. But you'll be alone. If you tell Black people, okay, there's a war, let's take gun and go and fight, you find yourself alone because these other people don't think like that. It's not part of their mindset. So if we know that weakness, we should know how to play around this thing to favor ourselves. You're not going to take a lot of Black people say, okay, let's go fight white people. These people are going to tell the white people, oh, they're coming to kill you because it's just nature. They don't want, you understand what I mean? It's just their nature and you can't change it. Instead of we trying to be like them, we should see our weakness and try to protect it. That's how I see things. You understand? Like if you go to your village, no matter what you tell these people about white people, one white man just needs to come to the village and the chief will give him his bed to sleep. The chief will give him everything. Yeah, he will expose him to everyone. He will take him even to the sacred shrine, without even understanding.
I think we're overhyped as
exactly. But if we know
beings
that,
are ripe, but we're overhyped. You know what I mean? We're overhyped.
But no. I'm gonna tell you the difference, right? The difference, like I keep telling you, West Africans. Let's be honest, y'all was sheltered majority of your existence in the sense that, like, okay, right? How many attacks ever came to West Africa other than by West Africans?
No attacks. The attacks began in the Islamic incursions and the Islamic and expansion, and which is something foreign. Other than that, West Africans lived in peace. To be honest.
Okay, for peace, basically for millennia. Like you talking about for like over a
millennia. You're exactly for millennia. Yep.
For millennia, right? Yeah. So yo tendency, right? If you dealing with somebody, if you live in that kind of environment, what kind of mindset would you develop?
A mindset to be cohesive with people and collective and get along with people and all that kind of stuff. Because there's no need to fight because we have enough space, we have enough foods, we have enough abundance. So there's no need to fight.
Exactly, right? But if you grew up in Spain, if you grew up in Europe, right? It's dark, it's cold every fucking goddamn day. There ain't no food nowhere, basically, right? You gotta fight everybody every Tuesday. It's somebody invading, cutting your head off.
Exactly. Especially in the desert when you're fighting for resources in terms of water, when your water resources and you're all searching around, and when you can see your enemy. So of course, so the thing is, Lazulu, as empires were expanding, West Africa started to get into that situation of warfare because Islam started spreading from all the way from Senegal all the way to Nigeria. You understand what I mean? Because the Islam was on the spread. And the Europeans took advantage of these wars and all that stuff. They took advantage of these religious wars that were taking part. And they got the Fulanis and all non-other tribes to be fighting and selling each other to slaves. They took advantage. Advantage. Listen, every civilization has their warring states period. The Japanese had a warring states period. The Europeans had a warring states period, and Africa was having its warring states period when the Europeans came, and they took advantage of that. The Japanese, for them, they just emerged from a warring states period. You understand what I mean? So when Europeans, when they came to there, they were already established. They already finished warring as a little states and all that stuff. So they finished fighting and they coalesced into one Japan. But they still, because of that, they still had that mentality of, you know what, let's keep this. But for Africa, the Islamic Empire, coupled with the peace we had and the Islamic expansion and all that stuff, we were just getting started at that warring states period. But the Europeans took advantage of that. That's all there is. We never actually established into nation states.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? Because okay, like can you pan out a little bit? Can you pan out God damn it, PAA P.
Where do you want me to go to?
Just pan out. I want to get the whole screen, like the whole. No, well, yeah, right. Now, if you look at it, like the map, right, like the map of Africa, right. When you look at it, remember Shaka Zulu at a certain point in time just started really building his first army. By the time the Europeans already came with gunpowder, right?
They were already in West Africa a long time before the Shaka Zulu started his stuff. So
no, he was just really starting to get his military into a decent shape at that time, right? Because it just became an empire at that time, just became like barely, basically, right? But what I'm saying is, it's the environment. I think it's more of a necessarily what Africans are going to have to do is have like a cultural shift, right? Because where we live at makes it basically so good that you don't really have to have that mentality. You know what I mean? Like, look at it.
I think, yes, I get what you're saying, La Zulu, but it's just we are so under so much pressure that right now, even somebody else argues it. How can it take 400 years of somebody whooping your ass and colonizing you? You're still not gonna learn your under urgency that you are in a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? We've been under 400 years of fucked up situation. It's about time, La Zulu, to learn. Yeah. It's about time to develop that warrior mentality, right?
No, Dav, that's the problem. We think we can develop a warrior mentality. We need to develop in our own way. I don't think, you understand, I don't really think we have that kind of tendency. I think we are lacking some hormones or some DNA that is preventing us, you understand, from thinking that way. I'll explain. I'll give an example.
You know what, Kifaru, we need some horn DNA, some quick anger DNA.
But look at the horn, though. The horn is awful to fucking live at, though. Look at it. It's fucking a desert. Let's be honest.
No.
This is what I was trying to say. I was trying to say this, like, I don't think, like, to enslave people, you understand, put people in this like really, really deplorable situation, put them in ship and ship them, then they don't die. Those it's difficult. You understand? Those people might have some special kind of, they can endure, and it's that endurance that we have that makes us being like targeted. You know, they started with some other people, and these people killed themselves. They could not, they just died. But we have some kind of endurance that is making us like weak. Some other people, you can't enslave them because they're powerful, but they will just die. You understand? Maybe they will just kill themselves. They can't endure pain. But this West Niger Congo, I don't know.
Bro, you got it wrong. Hey, what I'm telling you is it's the environment. Like, okay, put it like this, right? Put it like this. I keep telling you it's the environment, but you don't understand. But look at this, right? When the Europeans came and went to the United States of America, right? When they go to the United States of America, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, speak.
Yeah, okay. When the European went to the United States of America and went to New Mexico, right? They basically killed all of the Mexicans and all of the Indians in basically like a couple of months. Mm-hmm. Disease did most of the work, bro. Disease they didn't even like. Well, like in the U.S. history, they try to make it seem like the U.S. just came over here and just like beat their ass into submission. They didn't even do that. It's just more the fact like they got sick and just died, or they couldn't work they basically got sick and died, and they knew the area, so they couldn't work the land, right? Same thing when they went to Brazil, right? They basically just ran through that area because of disease and stuff. it was only a certain amount of people on the planet who had like the physical, like let's say, all right, your average look at your average Ghanaian dude. Your average Ghanaian dude necessarily ain't probably no more big than like 5'10", 5'9", running right, but he muscular, he built though, right? Your average quote unquote Congolese necessarily, right? Same kind of build. All right, look at your Senegalese wrestlers, bro. Your Senegalese, they are built. These are big people. These are pretty, like either pretty big or pretty strong or pretty, like, you know what I'm saying, spry.
That is a particular tribe, yes, but I know what you're talking about.
But I'm saying, but throughout all these areas, you can find people like they got them same kind of genetics throughout that same area. But what I'm saying is this, right? Right, when you in Uganda, you ain't gotta fight nobody in Uganda. You know why? Because the land, you ain't got to fight nobody because the land provides so much for you. You don't have to do anything. That's the shit that kind of that confused the fuck out of me when I went to Uganda. Was I was like, wait a minute, you got fruit trees? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like,
yeah, I know the fruit tree thing is African American, but to Africa that should mean nothing because they just grew up with that thing. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, Kifaru, that's what he's saying. That because we have that abundance of options and all that stuff and space, there's no need to fight. While if you look at Europe, it's a tiny space, and when you have a tiny space, people are like fighting for space and fruits and resources. So that's why Europe was far more in competition than anywhere else there is in the world. So the level of competition in Europe was far more intense. So the level of developing technology to kill people was far more intense than anywhere else in the world. That's why Europeans overtook the world, because they were competing for little space. It's like you put two prisoners in one prison and they completely fight each other. Those, because they're constantly fighting, they are improving their fighting skills. So when they came and meet people who are kind of docile and sedentary, those people will be like, why are you fighting? We have enough place. Oh, you want my land? I'll give you this piece of land. You stay, don't kill anybody, I'll give you. They went to America, it was the same thing. They went to America and the Native Americans was like, oh, Europe, oh, we need corn, we need that, we need that. And the Native Americans said, oh, fine, have this piece of land, we'll give you some corn and all that stuff.
And they came and killed them.
Yes, the Europeans
it killed them folk in the middle of the night. Like you gave that man a piece of corn and like, you know what I'm saying, at 1 o'clock, and this is at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, he's sticking your throat. After you just fed him, bro. Yeah, and gave him some food, bro.
Yeah, we have. I think we are big. Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You have to have a cultural shift, right? The mindset, like your culture is who you are. That's what I'm saying, right? Culturally, their mindset is I gotta rob you and steal from you because shit, nigga, it ain't gonna be enough for me. That's the cultural mindset.
405 years, 500 years of submission and this fucking disaster.
You see,
it should change people by now, Lazo.
You know, like I say this because forget about Africa. Let's say I always look African Americans. When I see the way they still behave with the white man, I think we're lacking some hormones to make us aware. You understand? For like. If like African Americans that have lived with white people, you know, for 400 years, whatever, you know, but they still, like the vast majority of them still respect white people. They may say no, but like the eldest, like old people, they still look at white people as still better.
No, because I mean the difference in between y'all is your level of exposure to them, right? That's the difference, right?
Oh, exactly. Like, yeah, good. So yeah, that's my point. We are not so exposed to these people, so we only see the good ones on TV, the ones that come and dramatize, you know, all this unite. So most of the Africans who live in like really dusty and local areas, they look at these white people as good people. No matter what you're gonna tell them, they're gonna say, no, this white man came give us some water, took my children.
Exactly.
They don't see the reality. But the Americans, you actually see the reality. But I'm still shocked how you still like look up to these people.
But you know, I'm not gonna say nothing, right? But that's when I tell people, I was like, because we got a different reality of these people, we see them different, we understand them differently, right? Like when Micah come on here, he'll say some shit like, "Oh, you should like them folk because of these reasons, right? Because they're white." I understand his sentiment and his mindset, right? But me, when I look at these people, I'm like, okay, right? Historically, They came here, did this. They came over here and killed all these people. The whole mindset is okay. I'm about to rob you and take whatever I can from. That's the mindset, right? But and then you keep saying, oh, I think Malgus said earlier. He was like, oh man, they got 400 years of something. They should be okay. That would be true. That technically you are right, but that's the thing. Culture is forever. Culture is what you do, even when you don't do it.
It's not forever. Now you see that's the difference there.
That's the power of culture.
I agree with you that culture shapes people, but the fact is we have been under culture of affliction, competition. Just we have been under oppression. That should change our culture to be more belligerent and all that stuff. To be want to fight more. So the culture should have changed over time. But it has changed over time to a certain extent. But something is stopping Africans from actually acting. Something is stopping us from acting.
The two things that stop y'all from we're actually making that switch and getting that thing kind of like for having the engine kind of like it's basically getting into gear. Two things: you don't have power, right? So you can't communicate. Like how often can like for me and you can communicate to each other, right? We across the world, right? Like your local Ghanaian can't even talk to somebody in the north of Ghana, right? Without him paying $40. Mm-hmm. Or not $40 or 40 CDs or 60 CDs, and if you live in that environment, that's a lot of fucking money to pay just to have a conversation with somebody.
I think there's also the fact that in that region there was not a situation of direct warfare. You understand what I mean? So the enemies that took over the region were not actually Europeans. There were other African troops controlled by Europeans. So there was not a direct distinction of warfare. Europeans are there. While in the Horn, you did find that situation. You understand what I mean? So because there's no direct warfare,
no, same thing in the South.
Hold on. Africans have been pacified by the elite leaders who are sponsored by the West. So the elite pacify us. Like every time we complain about something, they give us a pacifier. They calm down, like a baby, calm down. It's not that bad. You understand? So we've been pacified by the elite that exist already.
But
that's corrupt. Do you guys know this website? It's called.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yes, man. Yeah.
So just take the size of the actual size of Congo when you have to compare to its rate size. Okay, this is
Europe itself.
Yeah, let's take it up there.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
take it to the US.
That's the actual size of Congo. So
you can call Kifaru, listen to this. You can call a nation state like Belgium, the Netherlands, Poland to be a nation state, but you cannot call the Bakongo in Congo to be a nation. You cannot call what do you call it? I forgot a Congolese girl. Oh, all the other Congolese tribes in Congo. You cannot call them to be a nation, but you can call Poland a nation.
Take it to America, bro.
Yeah, take it to America. It's gonna be look.
Fucking hell, bro.
Yeah. So just Congo and maybe Ethiopia. Let's take Sudan. Congo and Sudan is bigger than almost like American size. It's bigger than one of Europe.
But look at this. This is why I'm telling people, right? This is why I keep telling people. You need to keep telling people. Oh man, you gotta. What is it? That's the spread of feminism and telling everybody, oh no, Africa don't have no kids. Dude, if that's the size of the Congo, that's just one country, right?
I want you to do something. Take Guinea-Bissau or Gambia and measure it with a European country. Take the smallest country in an Africa and measure it with a European country. Okay, Gambia. Take Gambia, for instance. Take Gambia.
You're going to be surprised, man.
Okay, let's look how small it is. Yeah, it's
measure it with the smallest European country. Measure it. Let's see. Where's the smallest? Measure it.
Okay, Gambia is small as fuck though, bro.
Go on with Belgium. Measure it with Belgium.
Where's Belgium?
Belgium, you passed.
Belgium right there.
Pass. Gotta go back up. Gotta go back. Luxembourg. Right there.
Yeah. So it's
Luxembourg. Is Gambia big? Okay, Gambia is bigger than Luxembourg. So
of course,
Belgium has a bit of landmass. All right. Yeah. So what about Slovakia? What about Slovakia?
Slovakia should be somewhere around up here.
It's just there. That's Latvia.
That's Latvia. So Slovakia. Where's it?
No, it's in Central Europe. We're next to Czech Republic. You can see Czech Republic, Prague.
Where the fuck is the Czech Republic at? But
where's Czech? Down Belarus. Ah, okay. Yeah.
Slovakia
Yeah.
is big. Is bigger.
So Slovakia is bigger, but not that
But
much.
what about Moldova? Moldova, I think, is one of the smallest.
Moldova has
What about?
mostly Ukraine.
They really need to go ahead and just make that into one country, bro. They need to
Yeah.
Okay, Gambia is very small to be a
They
Gambia.
got
nation.
to make that
Gambia,
into
We
one country.
actually
That's
took
pathetic.
Gambia because we wanted to see. Moldova is like at the end of Ukraine, whereas
Gambia is too small to be a nation state. It's
Yeah,
too small.
it's too damn small, bro. Like they can't do nothing with that.
All right, all right, all right. If I to take Guinea-Bissau for instance and compare it with compare it with what's his
No,
name?
you gotta do like
Belgium.
an average state. Like do like Ghana or something, and then you'll see what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
Guinea-Bissau
Compare it with Belgium.
is
Compare Guinea-Bissau with Belgium.
no, it's gonna be bigger than Belgium. I'm sure, 100%.
Belgium is right there.
Belgium should be is bigger.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
So how can you call
Guinea-Bissau,
Belgium a nation
yeah.
state? How can you call Belgium a nation state, right?
Mhm.
When it just has one tribe, but this place has multiple tribes
It's
in
like
it.
it's
White
like
man said so.
It's like Belgium and Luxembourg combined. That's the size of the actual size of Guinea-Bissau.
White man said so.
Yeah,
You
even
see what
like
I'm saying, Kifaru?
adding Netherlands, some part of Netherlands. Yeah, so that's true. That's true. So yeah, we are like it's not just like so much.
African tribes should be their own nations. Well, we don't want
No,
that anymore.
But
We don't want
that
any.
okay?
We don't want that anymore because the world is
This is the
moving to
thing. Like
regionalism.
before we can do that, we need the population because the population is still really small.
no. What you need is because necessarily the difference is now that since everybody got the concept of race, like people like in India, they starting to get the concept of race is starting to kind of quote unquote sink in. And if you
Mhm.
don't, if you still have the quote unquote tribe mentality, while everybody's got the quote unquote race mentality, you just gonna get jumped.
But Laz Zulu, the concept of race is hard to kind of like follow through in
We
terms of
understand that.
internationally. In terms of internationally, but what you can do to meet that demand is go towards regionalism. You understand me? If you have the whole entirety of West Africa, that's as big as the United States, or the whole entirety of
That's bigger.
Southeast Africa
That's
or,
bigger.
or, or Southern Africa, that's as big as the United States and all big as those other countries. So if you did that, then you it will mitigate that. You understand what I mean? But the racial aspect has to operate on a different way, just like how you have to operate just like the United States and Europe have NATO. West Africans and the Caribbean nations can have another trade deal that benefits them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, how you? And it don't really matter how you get there. You just need to get there because
You
if your
just need to
mind,
get there, but regionally is the best way to go so far.
hey, like how if you want to go regionally and that help you necessarily achieve the message, bro, or achieve the job, hey, go ahead. But that's what
Type ECOWAS. Kifaru, type ECOWAS or send any African regional state. Type it. Regional body.
What you mean on this thing or on Google?
Yeah, on this thing, type any African regional body or regional map. ECOWAS, East African
No,
Community, or anything like that.
I don't think it's gonna show original. It shows just country.
yeah, it's only
Okay,
gonna show the country.
It's just country. Yeah. So Nigeria, Cameroon, just these three countries are almost bigger than all of Western Europe, bro.
So you see why them robbing you is it's so beneficial for them though. Like you are the big whale, like you are the big mammoth, right? And to the rest of the world, if you understand how fucking tiny India is, you are the big mammoth, right? Like and to the rest of the world, until you really understand how big Africa is in an entirety necessarily, and to the rest of the world, like really understand how massive Africa is to the rest. We are you technically Africans are the big whale in the sea, and everybody looking at you like you big whale in the sea.
Kefaru.
Yeah.
Okay, like me, when it comes to Africa,
I bet you Adamawa State is bigger than Belgium.
yeah,
I bet you
them, yeah.
Adamawa is bigger than Belgium.
So look at
Kifa,
this is the whole of United States of America, but on the map it shows like where this.
Kifaru,
Yeah.
Kifaru. Listen, what I thought about Africa is that if we want to see growth and redevelopment, I think we should first of all trade with each other because we always look to the west, but we have almost 1 point something billion people of market. But if you look at the volume of trade within Africa countries, It's nothing to write
Yeah,
home about.
we don't even trade among ourselves.
You
Yeah.
see, it's crazy. Okay, Nigeria rice market, just rice, consume rice a lot. It's about $5 billion yearly. But you see, okay, rice is expensive in Nigeria because there is higher demand. What if Cameroon, or let me say Togo or Benin, produce rice and sell to Nigeria instead of going to Thailand and all that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You get it?
Yeah. We need that. We actually need that.
No, no, no. I don't think you really understand what's going on. Like the entire world already understands that you're like, all right, like you're the fine chick in the middle of the room that's naked. Like I don't think y'all really understand. Like you are the big whale, you the fine chick
Kivaru,
in the middle.
this guy, Kivaru, yeah. This guy, he just can't stop thinking about naked women to take advantage of.
No, we see, we
Do you, my
understand
guy.
everything. Sometimes these people think African don't understand. We understand everything. We just need to
Last
get the
Zulu,
right
last Zulu, last
politicians.
Zulu, you gotta take it easy on those African women in Uganda, bro. You gotta take it
No,
easy.
no, 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 no. I'm not. No,
Are you
no,
still
no,
Uganda?
no, no, no. I'm not. As I've been came back. I've been came back, bro. But what I'm
No,
saying is,
what attracts you to Ugandan women? Like they have the biggest
Wait,
booties
is
there.
hey, Jesus Christ, bro, calm down. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about business right now.
I think you almost sound like Hammer. Hammer in the other channel. You
Well,
guys
what the
are.
fuck? Do not play me with fucking Hammer. Hammer's like 12 years old or like 15 years old or some shit, bro. Like,
You guys have the same voice.
No, it does not sound
nah,
like
boy.
Lama.
I
Lama
can't
has
even
got
see
a
that.
really high pitched voice.
No, Amma is different. Amma is like an automaton or something like that.
That boy is special, boy. That boy is
Ama,
special.
Ama is has some special. He deserves some
But the thing
special.
about Last Zulu, I noticed Last Zulu is an opportunist, bro. Like, and the opportunist about Last Zulu is not simply about making
Last
money.
Zulu.
It's not about making money. It's about finding booty. That's what this guy is all about.
Nah, like,
Ama,
nah, bro.
Last
Bro, I
Last
didn't say not. I say, bro. I said. You see how you keep breaking that shit up? And I said one joke 2 years ago, almost like damn near 2 years ago. See what I'm saying,
That's
basically,
YouTube.
right?
He couldn't
That's
stop talking
YouTube,
about
man.
Ugandan women and their big booty.
I
YouTube,
made one comment about it, bro, and I was like, he's still holding that shit over me, bro. He's still
YouTube don't
holding it over
forgive.
me, man.
YouTube don't
Sorry,
forgive,
sorry.
bro. You
No,
said it
no,
on
no.
YouTube, it's gone. So MS Zulu FBA. I think you put FBA in your title. How's your FBA movement going?
Bro, FBA, I look at that shit like that's like an ethnic group, bro. I don't really. That's like if it's an ethnic group thing more than if it is a quote
Let me tell you
unquote.
something. I'm not gonna lie. This so-called BA. Let me tell you something. It's like Black America. They behave like sheep. They are easily swayed to any direction they want. You can decide to give up, and very, because like me, you can't tell me you allow one guy. Is it what's his name? Is it Tariq? Yes, Tariq, to create something, even register the thing as a business, then you call that your knowledge.
I
It's just
think
it's crazy.
it's out of desperation. It's out of an identity crisis. I
No, I
think
think
Yes,
just
No,
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 it's an
it's not.
embarrassing thing.
It's not more. It's not an identity crisis, bro. It's more. If you got an identity theft more than anything else, bro. Like I'm being honest
Let me
with
tell you something. I will respect the black Brazilian because one, at least for them to connect back to Africa to know where they practice Africa spirituality. I can understand that. At least they believe they are from Africa. They practice African spirituality. They don't go to church. Even some of them they speak the Yoruba language, so they just pick something and adapt to it instead of labeling yourself this ADOS, FBA. It's just
yeah,
it's
for me, I'm
confusion.
UFCs. I don't mind. People can decide to be part of any group, whatever. But being in your group does not mean you need to hate other people. That's my problem.
that's
Good.
right.
You can
Yeah.
be, you can create whatever group you. I know my tribe. I'm not coming and tell people blow my trumpet. My tribe is this. I hate you. I just watch. You understand? I understand. If
I
you
don't
want to
mind.
be part of the tribe,
I don't
yeah.
mind supporting
I say
FBA and
this is
all.
that we black people, if we want to earn our respect, it will happen naturally. Let's put our shit together. When
The
we
only
do
way
that,
for the only way for black people to get respect is when Africa becomes a mega country.
thank you very much. We will earn our respect. It happened to China.
Not yes. That's to me. And Malcolm X said it, and I really express it for
It will happen naturally. We don't
Africa.
need to beg people to
Africa
respect
is
us.
the face of black people, no matter what some people
Exactly.
want to claim.
Exactly.
No, we are this Africa. When it comes to black, or some people say I'm not African, I'm black, what
Do
other
you
shit.
understand that, last Zulu?
Black
No matter how
is
rich you can be in America,
yeah,
no matter how well off you can do, as
Africa.
long as Africa looks like shit,
They're
all
still
black Americans are attached to that,
exactly.
no matter how
But what
wealthy you are.
happened? I mean,
As
Oprah,
long as
Oprah is
A
a
lot of
billionaire. She was
yeah,
asked to do. She was asked to
if
do
you are
in
you
Spain.
if you as a
it's like
black
this,
person, you
it's
don't
like
know
this.
this already. That means you are
No
not
matter
paying
how rich,
attention.
Okay,
it's
wait a minute.
like no.
First off,
Hold the last Zulu. No, you can go next. No matter how rich black Americans are, as long as the majority of black people live in the hood and shanks and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah, they
it doesn't
represent
look
the
good on
general
all black
population. That's
Americans.
true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, you can say the same shit about like every like no matter how decent a Nigerian who makes it out of Nigeria does, Nigeria
Exactly.
still.
That's true.
I mean, like you can do that same about the whole continent. Like it's the
That's true.
same thing every place though.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
That's what. So
So
it's a
it makes
collective.
No,
sense.
no, no. Zulu, let me tell you something. I said Nigeria. Me myself, I know other African people that don't like us, and I don't care. We don't worry about people not liking us. We don't. We don't wake up and worry. The Ghanaians don't like us. No, we go out there and hustle and compete.
Yeah.
That's
Nigeria
how
talk
it should
about
be.
themselves most of the time. I know they talk about their problems in Nigeria. That's just a fact.
That's what we discuss. Our problem. We don't bother about any other thing. We just face our
Yeah,
problems.
but it's true what you said, Glazulu. People talk bad about Nigerian because they see this general conception of Nigeria in a negative way. So even the good ones inside need to suffer. So except when Nigeria becomes like generally good, then even the stupid ones will profit. That's how it is.
Yeah, Kifaru, for instance, our economy grew last year 3 point something percent. But when you go through the media, no one discuss it because they just feel that that's rubbish.
I've seen
And
Nigeria, and when they have this website that they put the taxes and how the country is being, how the taxes is being distributed all over the country. I will look for it. It is transparent. I say, wow,
thank
it's
you very
out
much.
there. You go see, okay, this amount was allocated. This was the budget. This amount was allocated for schools, for hospitals. It is there, and you can go and see it an official document. You can even call and verify. I forgot that website. It is really transparent. I think Nigeria is doing great, but it's just that the loud ones that are stupid, that the ones that are making the most of the news, and
You
or
see,
maybe that's what people
when you see
want to
the, the,
navigate
the
to.
people building the country, you don't hear from them. They just focus on building. They
Mhm.
don't make noise. It is the ones that they don't do nothing. All they do is yes, they are the one complaining on internet.
Yeah, is this internet thing as is just
Like
I think it's
someone was saying,
Africa.
he said this economy. I said it grew 3%. He said, well, I didn't feel any. I said, did you invest? Did you do any business? He said no. I said, okay, good. You won't benefit anything.
Mhm.
It's an economy. If you
Kifaru,
don't engage in business and do your business, then nothing. You won't get anything. You Dangote, even
imagine
listen. Last
imagine
year,
living like,
MTN make the highest profit in history. Last year,
wow,
yeah,
highest profit in history.
yes, of the company, yeah, from Nigeria last year.
You mean MTN Nigeria?
Yes, MTN Nigeria, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Interesting.
Yeah,
Now they,
MTN is big. MTN is big in Africa. Now see Nigeria people in Nigeria that are happy that there's Skylink. To me, I don't really like the idea. Skylink
Yeah,
should be like a
it's
second
useless.
thing, not like the main thing. But still, it's still expensive for an
no,
average
no,
Nigerian.
Kifaro, the reason why people are happy is that you can, even when you are in the rural area in Nigeria, you can access internet services. So that is the
Mhm.
reason why a lot of people are very happy about it. Because there are some places in Nigeria where you can have internet access. So with this Starlink, you can
Can
access
there be a
internet
local
everywhere.
Nigerian company? Okay, I guess there's none. Only Skylink can do that at the moment at such a rate and all that stuff
Yeah,
because
but Sky- but-
they are orbiting over low Earth orbit and all that stuff. So, and they've got thousands of things, thousands of
Yeah,
satellites and
and
all that stuff.
also the tech industry is growing faster in Nigeria. So they need
Internet.
higher internet services.
But is internet in Nigeria bad? I don't think so.
No, like
Not so far.
not
Not
so bad really, because MTN they are trying.
Is it good as Kenyan internet though? Because the internet, Kenyan, the internet is
it's
Kenyan.
better than Kenyan internet. If you have noticed so far, none of the Nigerian panelists have actually failed so badly as much as
Just
some
imagine
other
like
South Africans.
UFC super fan is in Nigeria. A
Even
Nigerian prince is in Nigeria,
Nigerian
so you
prince,
don't
all
know.
the Nigerians have actually had stable internet
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
Yeah, what's
So
the
it's not a thing,
internet?
right? But Ghana, but like you talk to most of the Ghanaians, they got bad internet though, right? You like,
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes but it's
There is
yeah, it's
MTN in Ghana,
sometimes,
innit?
bro.
It's
MTN.
MTN in Ghana.
If they live in Ghana, bro, that internet is
Kifaru, if you observe, like if you look at Ghanaian economy, it's in a very bad condition. But if you pay attention, Ghanaians are not complaining. But Nigeria economy is not in that position. But you see Nigerians complain a lot.
Exactly. That's why I said Nigerians are not satisfied with
At
nothing.
all, we are not.
Not what you want,
So that's
Kifaru.
the
We're not
difference.
Yeah,
trying to
no,
get
it's
to
good.
that
Yeah,
level.
it's a good. Yeah, Nigerians always want more. Nigerians always
But
want
you
more.
want that,
it's a
That's
good
Kifaru.
thing and a bad
Kifaru,
thing
look at
though.
the
It's a
English.
good thing, but a
Kifaru,
bad thing.
Kifaru,
eh,
Kifaru, English people, they don't stop complaining. Every fucking little thing they're complaining.
Thank you
Everything.
very
Oh,
much.
it's not enough. It's not satisfactory. It's not up to standard. They always complaining, demanding more. You want a society to be like that. You
that's
want the
why I like
people to complain.
Nigerians. Like, if you come to Cameroon, you see a teacher, maybe a government teacher. Let's say they call them a grade one teacher. Like grade one teacher is like you finish your university, you write this government entrance exam to go to teaching school. So when you graduate, you can become a teacher, maybe high school, enter university. So these people, they are just satisfied. They don't do no extra business. So they're just like satisfied with how much the government pays them. You will never see that in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have that same amount of money, but he still wants to do some extra
Yeah,
business.
they have a side business also. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I noticed. But the Cameroonian will just sit down and thinks how it's going to do some bribery and increase the money. That's the difference that I see with Nigerians. They're not satisfied, and that's a good thing, But sometimes, as the last Zulu FBA said, it's a good thing and the bad thing at the same time.
But remember what I was telling you though. But think about Nigeria. It has an environment that makes you want to be in that kind of mode though. Like when you in Uganda, you don't have to worry about nothing.
No,
Uganda,
let's see.
I'll be honest.
Let me tell you something. When you use the word mode, let me tell you something. Most people that complain, they are not directly affected. Most times they watch TV and see what is going on there. You said?
No. You mean me or Malgus?
Go on, Lazulu. You were making a point. I think UFC was going to agree with you. Go on, Lazulu. You were making a point.
But what I'm saying is, right. But remember what I was telling you earlier about the environment, right? Like in a sense that you gotta understand, look at it like this, right? You can only do what your environment allow you to do, right? Or what your environment basically kind of set up for you, in a sense, right? Look at it like that, right? So in Nigeria, they have an environment where I gotta make money. I can't motherfucking be here. I gotta do something. I gotta do whatever, right? So their mindset is the cultural mindset is I gotta go someplace and do whatever I can to make some money, right? So they'll get up and go all the way to what is it? Now was it Kenya, South Africa, bro? Everywhere, right? Everywhere. It was they in Europe, bro. United States. They in fucking Japan, bro. They got a whole goddamn section of blazing chicks that I thought was our. I thought it was our blazers. Nah, motherfucker. They Nigerian blazing chicks, right? So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. But you gotta understand, it's that mentality, right? It's that cultural mentality that pushes you to be like, all right, I gotta do that. It's that cultural and that quote unquote also environmental thing that pushes you to be that way, right? Most of Africa is so good, like Africa is the cradle of civilization, which means to be a cradle, that means it has to be a great place to live, right? Cradle. That's what you put babies in because the rest of the world is kind of harsh, right? The cradle of civilization. The reality, Africans don't have that quote unquote raw mentality because it's the environment, right? The environment pretty much is set up to like, all right, you got enough rice. You can throw rice out there, you can get all the rice you need. All your trees grow fruit that you can grow all you need, right? You got luscious tree lines with plenty of game that you can get. You can grow all the crops you need. You have to worry about it. Hell, season you don't even have to worry about seasonal issue because you got summer basically half the year. Then you got rainy season. Compare that to the rest of the world is when you got winter half the fucking time. You got monsoons hitting every other 2 weeks or some shit. Like you got like it's a vastly different place necessarily. So the mindset of the people is kind of just different. If that makes any sense.
But let me tell you something. Most of us, Africa, we complain a lot. But one thing we don't thank God for is that most of us are debt free. We don't owe any debt. A lot of people in Africa, they don't.
Yeah, they own like really minor debt, not like really basic.
Like yes, minor. Some people just I can't call that a debt. I'm talking about like in developed country, a lot of people who like real debt.
Exactly.
$45,000.
I said my uncle, he was complaining that it took him 5 years to complete building his house. I said, bro, in the West, people have mortgage for 30 years. What are you talking about?
30-year mortgage, bro.
People have like 20 years
car note, man.
mortgage, 30 years mortgage. And if you don't pay, you lose your house. But that is your house, whatever you're building, it's your house. It's always going to be your house,
Thank you very much. And you don't, then when you build your house in Africa, you have done that. You don't pay another tax again. It is final.
Yeah.
When it is done, it is done.
Yeah, in the UK, you have your house, you pay tax to the government, man. It's just.
So I have a question to ask you. So would you say necessarily the only difference between the kind of jumpstart African? What I'm saying is, I think Africa need a cultural quote unquote upgrade, basically, right? So quote unquote, the jump side, you basically jump that mindset between being okay, I'm good here, I ain't gotta necessarily move to I gotta go do something kind of mentality, right? Would you think changing of a few laws would do that to help quote unquote
No.
that mentality?
Let me tell you what the Africa needs to do. One thing I observe when many African businessmen, when they succeed in their country, they just they just stop there. They don't think beyond their boundaries. It is very, very sad. Like in my country, for example, you can hardly find a Ghanaian-owned company in Nigeria. You can the same thing with Kenya. Okay, for instance, Kenya, they were the first country to create the mobile money. They did that in Kenya, then stop. They didn't think of expanding to other African country.
But
So
why would they though? But no. Look at it like this though. Why would you? Because put like this: if you're the top predator in your environment, why would you? Like, why would you go out hunting to another place if you're getting all the food that you need, right? But because
hold on. If Apple decided to stay, like to focus only on America, they won't spread their product across the world. You don't have to just play local champion. You need to spread.
But no. You misunderstand. You misunderstanding what I'm saying is right. Like, all right, Apple came out of a certain kind of environment where they had Windows, they had was it Sony, they had all these other people they were already competing against beforehand. Remember, but like that's what I'm saying. The environment is going to shape you into the person that you need to be because if you're constantly already necessarily fighting somebody on a constant basis, right? It's nothing for you to come outside and start and just dominate, right? Because you've already been doing that.
Hold on. There is a Nigeria company called Flutterwave. It's into mobile money also. They just got got an approval in Egypt. They also apply in Ghana. They are trying to spread. That's how you do business.
Flutterwave is massive. I like them. It's
Thank you very much.
I've got an account with Flutterwave.
Thank you very much. You don't just stay in one place. You spread across. That's how you expand. That's how you create billionaires. That's how you create multi-millionaires.
But Nigeria, like I said, Nigeria's already had that environment set up. Like I keep remember, I keep telling you the environment. Nigeria is set up in the environment where you got to get that money though. I gotta leave here because ain't nothing gonna be here. I gotta go look for something else someplace else, right? You already got that mentality. I gotta go get it for myself because ain't nothing gonna be.
One thing I'm saying is that we should learn to compete
Zulu FBA, do you think Nigeria is different from other countries? Or do you think some other countries have what Nigerians don't have? Why
No,
are
no,
Nigeria?
I
The
know.
thing is, the
No,
thing is that
no. What I'm saying is right. Culture was shaped with how you look at the world, right? Necessarily, right? All right. Why? Okay. Why are Jews the way they look at the way? Why are they the way they are? Right? Because they almost got wiped off the planet like 3-4 fucking times, right? So when they look at business, they look at, I need to be in a business where I can make banking, where I can make a whole bunch of money, right? And I can move if I need to quickly, right? Right? Because that culture of damn near always trying to fight for survival, always trying to be quote unquote massacre, right? It shapes how you have to look and operate in the world. Most Africans, quote unquote, culture basically is peaceful for the most part. Like you said, you have millennia of peace, millennia. So that means for your cultural understanding, how you culturally kind of just move through the world, it's going to be a pretty peaceful one compared to everybody else around you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, but Nigeria, but Nigeria specifically, right now, what are they always complaining about? Oh, my country ain't doing this. I gotta do this. I gotta go out here. I gotta do this. I gotta move. I gotta expand. I gotta go to this place. I gotta do. So that's what that mentality of, oh, I got to quote unquote do that. That's the difference between Kenya. When Kenya got it, Kenya ain't had that many invasions. Like that'd be like Kenya may had like one invasion its entire lifetime by foreigners, right? But I think it's like one, right? You know what I mean? Other than that, that's it, right?
But no, listen. What we are saying here is business. We are not talking about invasion. What I'm saying, listen. Listen, what is it difficult to compete with other people, other businesses? Like, come on. Is it bad for us to compete as a black?
You understand what I'm saying? Like Darth, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I get it. But
I think you guys are misunderstanding each other. He's talking about a different thing, and you're addressing a different thing. He's addressing something that comes from a business point. I forgot what you are all about, but there's a misunderstanding here. Can you guys take patience and hear each other out?
Yeah, okay, like Zulu FBA. I always give this little analogy about the little impala and the lion. You understand? So the impala, when the mother told him, "Don't play with the lions," the little impala said, "Well, I don't eat meat, so why should the lion kill me?" But it does not matter if you eat meat or not. The lion is going to kill you. So you can say, "Well, I don't want to go to other people's country and do my thing," but that does not change the fact that those people may come to your country to take over you. You understand?
Thank you.
So for you to fight it, you need to be on their own side. Try to do the same thing. Because if you just do, I don't need to go to your country. Good, you don't want it. But that does not stop them, a business model, a business idea, to come in your own country and take over your system. That's just it. That's how the world works. You know, the capitalism part of the world is always like the bigger one. Like see Aliko Dangote, he came to my country, he bought a cement factory, and they say, okay, yeah, you're gonna open the cement factory, but they say, okay, for you to establish in this country, your price can never be smaller than the state cement company that's called Cement Camp, because they for somehow you need to fight him, because if they didn't tell Dangote, if they didn't put a cap on his price for cement, he will kill the Cameroon cement industry because he's capable of doing that. They tell him, "What? This is your cap. You can never go below what we sell. The government sells cement in this country. So you must. People are going to come. People are going to come. So it's for you to go to the own. So like go everywhere like Nigerians try to be your empire. And what I notice about Africans, we don't form what's it called? We don't have what's this word? When you have a company, then you pass it over to your children, and your children.
You mean an inheritance?
What's that called?
Inheritance or will? Inheritance?
Well,
No, like I mean for a company that like span long.
You're an inheriting company, bro.
Yes,
you inherited into the company.
Yeah,
like you're a CEO, you inherited company.
Exactly. Like you might start something like now you're doing good, then pass away. The children just like say everything and drink. You know, we don't really pass it on. Like for example, we have this guy in my country. He was Photo Victor. He was a really successful man. One time he was the richest person in Cameroon. He was doing business. But all his children were abroad studying something that is not even related to your business. They just send the money. So the business could not carry on. You understand? So we need to actually bring our children in our business so they can carry on the legacy of that business and pass
But
it.
that's what we just that's what we just addressed, Kifaru,
Oh,
isn't it? Like kids following their father's footsteps in terms of
yes,
their
yes.
father's business. I think businesses in Africa perhaps is very tough to manage. Maybe they need some kind of meritocracy kind of thing. As well, you kind of take the best
No,
people who
like
can
like
keep the
like
job going and put them
like
in
in
place.
Nigeria, I'm not gonna lie. The two richest men in Nigeria currently, their daughters are the one managing the company. Like the owner of
Mm.
Glow, the daughter managed the Glow company.
Mhm.
Then
Oh, that explains
Dangote's daughter managed the company. So because you need to do it first, you need to step back and allow your family members so you watch, you see what they can do instead of when you pass away. Then no, you have to
Yeah,
sometimes
I
step
suppose, I
back,
suppose,
allow them to run it first so you see
Mm.
for yourself what they can do.
Yeah,
There's
guys.
more trust. I suppose there's more trust in family members, and the reason why women tend to be more a bit like women to keep the thing going. Whenever a man creates something, the woman keeps it going, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Women have this thing of managerial, administrative
That's true.
thing
Like
where they
when it
tend to
comes to
put them.
like
When
family,
a man creates, a woman keeps it going.
when
So
it comes
Yeah,
they, yes, I can see,
when it comes
I,
to
yeah,
I can see.
family, the women are more family orientated.
yeah. These girls are they are directors in a lot of companies in Nigeria, so they are.
Yeah, guys.
Mm,
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
thank you, guys. I think we'll be giving a closing statement. I like to do my things for 3 hours or even less. So
But
let's just yeah.
Kifaru, I want you to play a Senegalese song as we leave in.
Give me yeah. Of course, of course, of course, of course.
I
I'll
want
play
you to play a
Senegalese.
Senegalese song as we go. That's why I waited. I waited this long to play some Yusundur, you know.
Yeah, you send you. If you have a special one, you can post it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that guy. Oh
I'll
wow.
start with Zulu FBA. So
You
national.
soon do is
Yeah,
good.
I want to say something. I'm gonna go ahead and go. All right, I'm gonna give you like a work project, right? And necessarily, it's just like I know you may do it, you may not, right? But I want you to type in when you get the opportunity. Type in might make. I think it's called might makes right, right? It's a philosophy that most Europeans have at the center of their cultural mindset, right? Their cultural mindset.
Yeah.
So
Mine
when you
is
get
right.
the opportunity,
Yeah.
type it in YouTube, and it's like a couple of hours long, but just listen to it, right?
Oh
And
no,
you got to understand that these are the people's cultural mindset
I
when
know
you're
exactly.
interacting with them.
I know exactly. It's called Might is Right philosophy. It's from Transylvania.
But
That's exactly what
But
it
have you
is.
Zulu,
read the book? Have you read the book?
about
Yeah, I know about that. I know about that
Zulu,
philosophy.
Zulu FBA. But listen, as we are here now, when we have kids, please let's teach them about business.
Of
Business is the way
course.
to go. Business
Exactly.
is the way to go. No, all this education, go to school. No. Teach them business. They will be good. They'll be set for life.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
old
so
enough.
about the National Youth Service. So before we close, Shaka, I don't want to say Shaka Zulu, Zulu FBA. So, what is your own ideology when it comes to National Youth Service or conscription? Do you think it's a place we still have a place or no, or we don't have? It doesn't have a place again.
I think it has a place in the African continent. I think it should be implemented in every African country, especially if you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to the global stage and if you're trying to be a competing, especially if Africa and the countries within it want to be actually operating on the global stage instead of just being as a resource battery for the rest of the world. So for me, I think it's a perfectly good idea. I think it should be implemented as soon as possible. But yeah, that's my view on it.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you. You're always welcome at the Pan African Alliance where we solution.
FBA. I mean, Kifaru.
Yeah.
See, one thing I notice is that if you pay attention, a lot of people. I don't know why they are scared of Nigeria, like to do business in Nigeria. Yes, there is competition in Nigeria, but go if you want to make real money, go there to do your business. This idea that everyone is scared, they rather go to maybe Uganda where people are so cool, quiet, so they can walk all over them. No, you can't do that in Nigeria. When you can't walk over anybody there, they will set you straight. So I don't understand.
You're really funny, man, asking that question. Why are people scared? In my job, sometimes I work with some Nigerians that from they say sometimes in order for them to go to the GS, they have to be careful. Instead, if they go at night and they might get robbed or something like that. So there's a security element, there's a bribery element, and There's a fever element being heated scam.
Listen. There is a guy from Gambia. He's he's into real estate. He came to Nigeria to make. He became wealthy there.
Yeah.
So I like people like that.
We'll be giving our closing statement, guys.
What I'm saying is that
you should ask that question to Black Americans why they don't go to Nigeria and go to
post the link. Is that what you posted?
It
yeah,
is
post the link.
crazy.
If I play
Because
it
if
at
you
the
look at
end,
it,
just to finish the show. Play it at the
if you
end,
look
just
at
to
it,
let it run
let
and
me
let
quickly
it
say
end
this.
the show. Go on,
We do,
UFC Superman. Sorry.
yeah, we do go to other African countries. We go there to compete with the locals there. We don't scare away for that. Africa, I want all Africa to do the same thing. If you are in Gambia, if you see opportunity in Nigeria, come to Nigeria. Come and drag the economy with us. You understand
Yeah.
me?
I don't know. They will come, but they will come with caution as well. With Nigeria, it's just even Nigerians at home there, they're very scared of Nigeria as well.
No.
UFC superstar, and thank you for coming, man.
Thank you.
So
You're welcome.
what's your last word about this national youth service? I know, for example,
My last word is that because the media keep scaring a lot of people away. The white people all of them, they came to Nigeria, they make money. Even the Lebanese, they
yes,
do well in Nigeria. So I want to see my own people, black people, come there to hustle.
exactly. I know Nigerians are very welcoming people. We all know that.
Yeah. No, the
Thank
youth
you.
service is a very good initiative.
Yeah.
Yes, a very good initiative. Anyway, will you? Is there any show for tomorrow regarding the election or?
I'm expecting two Niger. I like to give that to the Nigerians. I don't know.
Okay.
Niger will not.
There's a show from
will not
Nigeria
do it.
tomorrow.
So when it
Two
comes to
Nigerians doing
Nigeria,
shit.
you go and be in someone else's channel complaining, arguing. You should be the one doing that show for Nigeria, but instead you'll be in someone else's channel arguing. So I hope if you have a channel, I don't know more. If
No.
someone does it, then I will just go live so we can just talk about it.
Oh no problem. I'm in your group, so whatever happens tomorrow, I will get an update from you. So no problem.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Okay, you're welcome. Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, UFC Superfan, and that. Yeah, Kifaru. Yeah. For me, like what's his name again? Lazulu. I agree with him as well. I think this initiative and this process should be happening, especially for a country that is an urgent situation. We've seen in many countries around the world, the United States, Taiwan. Hold on, Kifa, don't play this until
Yeah.
the
I'm
end.
not playing now. Yeah.
The United States, Taiwan, and all these countries. Whenever it seems they're in a state of urgency, they tend to go through this process of recruitment as well. But it also is a way to keep your military reserves at the ready as well. You need to have reservists as well. So not only does it help bolster the state, the sense of nationalism around the country, because you're mixing many different people and all that stuff. It also teaches people personal skills to be developed as to be disciplined. You understand what I mean? And not only that, you can incentivize them to that. Oh, if you went to this military, you will achieve these technical skills and all that stuff. You will come out with this certificate. So if you want to pursue the military entirely, you can go that way. If you want to go and serve your country in another technical aspect, you can do that way. At least what you're doing, they have the nationalism at the base and the discipline at the base. So wherever they want to use their skill set that they learn from this initiative,
that's really powerful. I'm not gonna lie.
that will be good. So the initiative is necessary, but it's even more necessary in urgent situations. But I think it's always good to have that. I think I was watching the other day. I was watching a documentary on DW and all that kind of stuff, and it seemed I forgot the country and say this country in order to keep its military reserves. I think it was Taiwan. Yeah, everybody gets enrolled into a military program, and then after 5 years they can choose to go away and all that kind of stuff. Do you understand? So it's quite interesting and all that stuff. So I think all African countries should implement that. But in order to make it very fair and balanced, you don't want to take 5 years of somebody's lives and not teach them nothing to do after they come out of it. So if at least 2 years you can take to try and incentivize them to go through that route, you can take 2 years of their lives, teach them the skills, teach them nationalism, teach them discipline, and teach them a skill set that they can use in the military or use in the civilian society. You understand?
Yeah, and that I want you to get. I need 10 people from the Gambia. I
Yeah.
need like just it doesn't matter whoever, I just need 10 people, give them t-shirt, give them some money to get some food. We need to start as dusty politicians just to create an awareness that there's something there, take some photos. We need that. We need to start somewhere,
I talk about
just
alternative media, but it's gonna take me actually doing something. And me
yeah, no,
actually
it
doing
doesn't
something,
matter.
creating my own media, rather than just being a panelist. I have to do something.
Yeah. I don't, I want this. I want to talk only about PA. What is happening on the ground with the
Mm,
with like the PAB members. That's the main aim. It's not about just talking. We can complain about Africa all day. We have millions of things to complain about that's going on in Africa. There's always.
mm,
I don't want to be that. You understand? I don't want to be just talking about things that's happening. All the
yeah.
medias are showing that. So
No, Kifaru. Like I said, your idea is in the right place and it's in the right thing, and is like you said, you're trying to create a movement. So it's not like a bullseye point, a movement in which that it sweeps all over Africa, something that sweeps all over Africa. Like I say, there's this idea. It's like the labor movement that happened. It started in the UK,
yeah.
went to America, Australia, Europe, and all that stuff. That's why you see the labor parties all over. You can find the
Yeah,
Labour Party in Nigeria. You see the Labour Party, Peter Obi, Labour Party in Nigeria, Labour
just just
Party in Australia,
just
Labour
talking
Party
about
in
that.
America.
The
Yeah,
first
because
idea was like the Labour Party. It was like the
yeah.
Labour Party Africa. That was the first thing, but I said no. I don't
Well,
want.
if that's what you're thinking, Kifaru, then you are on the right thing that I was
Exactly. That
thinking
was
about.
my
So
first
our
idea.
mind,
Is that I even had a different logo. Said the Labour. It was the Labour Party Africa. But it's the same thing. But yeah, but I don't want to
okay,
make it, a political party now because I don't want people to see us like
it does.
opposition.
You can expect many different political parties to come from it, but you want to create the atmosphere for it.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
but
understand? Yeah.
it's really important that we stay in this cohesion, in this conglomerate. That's what is going to make
Yeah,
it different. Yeah.
exactly.
So,
But I can expect to tell you the only thing my thing is I'm saying here is don't expect the political elite that exists at the moment to support you in this.
no,
They
no,
will
no,
shut
no,
you
no,
your
no, no.
yeah.
I don't. If they
You will
come,
not
that would be good. That would be like okay, yeah,
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
happy. But I don't expect them.
Because they will shut you down if you try to change the education system. They will shut you down if you try the news media. They will shut you
Exactly,
down if you try the printing press, and they could even shut your internet down. So you
exactly,
have to find another way to push your message. And you
exactly.
don't have time to go pay people to go knocking door to door like Jehovah Witnesses. Nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? So you have to think, how can I
Yeah,
make such a big impact without actually getting this thing where they can easily stop me? How can I make an impact? You have to find alternative ways to do this.
yeah. The only thing you don't need to show yourself that you are against the government. The African government don't take shit this time.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
will kill you before you start.
yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly,
thanks.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming. So what do you want me to play this?
Yeah. Play this until it finishes, and then just end the show. Just like click bang once you're done. Once you're done, prepare. Just click done, end the show or something like that.
Okay. So
It's a different thing. Maybe next time somebody will recommend a song, and then you will end the show with that
yeah,
song, an African song, a pro African song. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. So guys, thanks for those who have been with us from the beginning to now.
Sure.
So I think you all guys got into the conversation. We're talking about youth service. We're using the Nigerian youth service as an example, and I think most of the panelists we all agree that this is a good initiative. But that said, just making it a kind of a service that you just come and go. We should try to make it more serious, more intense. So when you come, before you leave, you have a certificate, some kind of a certificate that you can use in real world. So we give it more credibility. Make it more robust, and that was a really good idea. So instead of just for people just coming to be to stay in the camp for 3 weeks and move, maybe you can extend it to maybe 2 years. So in the period of those 2 years, they can actually learn something that can be useful in your life. I don't know, maybe carpentry, bricklaying, driving, some kind of qualification. And yeah, so I think it's an idea that we in Africa, we Africans, we're in the Pan African conglomerate, Pan African Alliance. we're thinking about things like that, because as you know, we're just trying to encourage young people to get into politics and how to be a robust political system for Africa. So thank you for being here with me. So I hope to see you weekend if we have some more time. So we have this music that was dedicated to us by that. So it's Hussein, what was it called? Usul, sorry, I think it's Senegalese. Lima Wesu. Let's listen to it. And until then, I wish you guys, I don't know, a good day, good night, or good morning, wherever you are. And so till then, see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Everybody, come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Persiste tu les mourir. Achawai. You need to go en face. À gauche. Wow, they say can lick my kiss, chini my ways, lick my kiss. What a sucky pop, to the evening, the man in the tent, walking money, my baby. Make a good many, do mama, make a good many, do mama, Luma Dendian, tell me back. Luma Dendima, tell you to sit down. Wow, the Satan lick my kiss, chili my waist, lick my kiss. What a sucky back, who they fake, the malin dead, what the woman is, my baby. Take a good many, mama. Take a good many, mama. Tell me back. That's no woman neck, no big tea. Who am I gonna take? Bring it on my sorry. Who am I gonna sorry? I'll be kissing my head. Luma dem dia, tell me back. Luma dem di man, tell you to it down. Leave my ways, they never say. And we said, the man there, leave my ways, they never say. Attention, c'est le grand.
Imagine if manufacturing automation was simple. Introducing Vention. One platform.
Ça c'est le super étoile de Yes, sir.